welcome to the MCG for those joining us for the first time. Welcome back to those who've been with us as the Hawks about to burst through the banner. The MCG bathed in sunshine, and Campbell Brown playing game 150 against the Tigers, the team where his father Mal played, of course. And the Hawks lineup, 6 changes at selection, guys.
There certainly has been. Stokes skipper Franklin, Burgoyne, Mitchell into the side, and there's some big ins there, certainly through the midfield. It's a big challenge to get the ball quickly up to the forward half, which, look at the names in isolation, and some fantastic names. One of the key points for today is intensity. Hawthorn need to get back to that unsociable type of football, and that'll be led by the likes of Mitchell and Ellis and the chase of Rioli, key forwards. For a team to have key forwards as they have with Roughhead and Franklin, get the ball in quick. They're down on long kicks, but they've got to get the long kicks back into the game, get it quickly to these guys in isolation. One-on-one contests, that should be enough to win the game. And the third point, clearances. There's been a massive drop away in clearances since their premiership year. Against their opposition, they were ranked 16th this season. They were 7th in their premiership year, and that has to turn around for them if the Hawks are going to dominate the Tigers today.
This is 14th versus 16th on the AFL ladder. Alistair Clarkson coaching against his old apprentice today, Damien Hardwick, former Hawthorn assistant coach to Alistair Clarkson. So Damien Hardwick will know a little bit about this Hawthorn lineup and perhaps how to get into their heads. And they'll need to do that, Richmond. They're yet to have a win this season, but Hawthorn, their heads have been gotten into a few times this year.
Well, they have, and you look at the conditions. If they're going to suit players, we see Sean Burger on there wearing the helmet. Suffered a fractured jaw about 6 weeks ago, but these conditions really going to suit the Hawthorn tall forwards as we see the young Tigers running out there, Dwayne.
Big task for Richmond today, as we said. 16th on the AFL ladder, no wins, 7-loss season. And it's been a long time between drinks for many of these fans who have packed the MCG today in hope. Let's have a look at their lineup.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing a lot of these young Tigers. They've used 36 players already. Thursfield, McGuan and Moore have a big job down there with Roughhead and Franklin. Newman, will he get Cyril Rioli? The midfield, Shane Tuck's been in very good form. Revold's been their leading goal kicker. Like the form of Graham Polackson's coming back. He gives them a strong target up there. Just some of the key points. Pretty simple for Richmond. Just win the tackles. Be really competitive in that area and really nail the tackles. Not only win them, but really force the opposition to turn the ball over and get it quickly down into your forward line. So I'll get plenty of opportunities. Contested footy, that's an area where they've been pretty strong. They haven't won a game of football this year, but Damien Hardwick will simplify it for his boys today. Just win the contested footy. Hawthorn, they'll be up against it. And just when you get the ball, play on quickly and get some scoring opportunities. Try and win the inside 50s, and it'll be this player here, Trent Cotchin, number 9 there for the Tigers. He's been in stellar form also, leading the contested possessions for the Tigers. So, as I said, second in contested possession at the Tigers with Dustin Martin also and Deledio. So they're the 3 young stars that the Richmond people love to see.
They are, and the Richmond supporters will be packed into the stadium today with plenty of hope against the Hawks today, and it'll be led by the likes of Cotchin and Martin. And that man, Brett Deledio, an outstanding talent. Been around the competition, averaged the 32 disposals in the last 3 games against the Hawks, so he doesn't mind lining up against the Hawks. They'll love that this afternoon from Deledio, amongst others. And Roughhead, he's a player that is very important. Franklin comes back into the side, so they'll take a little bit of pressure off. But Jared Roughhead, he needs to fire, and he'll get plenty of use, you would think, of the ball inside 50.
Well, he was terrific last week, kicking 6 goals, 3, and of course their skipper. He's the guy that generated Sammy Mitchell there. He's the first possession play. It's first game since round 4. They said it was only going to be a 1-week injury with a hamstring, but they've been very cautious with Sam Mitchell. And if ever a side needs their leader to step up, it's today. Any chance of playing the finals, they need to win, and win well today.
And this young man, he'd be extremely pleased. I suppose in footy terms, he's getting on a bit, but at his best, one of the most exciting players in the competition, Sean Burgoyne, after 157 games with Port Power. He's an exciting player, had a horror run with injury to get his debut, and he's got the big head guard on there, plenty of protection around the jaw region.
Looks like a giant golf ball.
Yeah, is that Jason Dunstall's old helmet?
I think it is. I think it's a new improved
That'd
model.
be a few sizes bigger, I would have thought.
Sean Burgoyne and wearing Shane Crawford's old premiership number 9. The bounce of the ball not far away here at the MCG. Perfect conditions for football at the Melbourne Cricket Ground on this Sunday afternoon. And to give us a further update on the conditions, let's head downstairs. Liam Pickering.
Yeah, a bit slippery down here actually, Dwayne. A little bit of rain overnight, but looking forward to a big contest this afternoon. The Tigers, the young Tigers, will be up against a pretty formidable outfit this afternoon. Probably the best Hawthorn team we've seen on paper for the year. Looking for a real a guide about how Hawthorn are going to go for the intensity at the footy, especially at the centre bounce. I reckon you'll see a bit of crash and bash, a bit of unsociable stuff from the Hawks this afternoon.
Thanks, Liam. What a crew. We've got 3 premierships between us all. Liam Pickering, Alistair Lynch, Danny Frawley and I. Big crew today for this contest between Richmond and Hawthorn. And a big afternoon for the Hawthorn Football Club after making 6 changes, given that they know that this is their best lineup for the year and they can keep their long shot hopes of a finals berth alive.
There's Franklin back in the team. McGuan's got him, and you've got Roughhead deep with Will Thursfield. So beautiful conditions, Alistair, for the tall forwards.
Fantastic conditions. So get the ball down quick. Good midfield, the Hawks. Saws in with Mitchell and Lewis.
Angus Graham back into the team and straight into the ruck against Renoff to get us underway. Lays a tackle in there as well. Cochin slips it out. Foley, speaking of back in, kicks toward Revolt, who's been in reasonable form. Gillam takes on Polak. Tackle, but he won. Got it to Campbell Brown in game 150 today. Finds Lewis off his line. He's in trouble. Just gets the kick away. And Renoff makes a contest. Knocks it down. Franklin a long way back. Sean Burgoyne, his first possession as a Hawk. McGuan dragged down. Ellis shoots it out.
That's good from Burgoyne.
Sean Burgoyne, second possession. Doesn't mind getting it in tight as well, given he's coming off that broken jaw. Guerra high towards the wing. And a fist out of play and we'll get a ball in.
Great for his confidence, Sean Burgoyne there. 2 touches already, and you see Nathan Foley trying to work him over, but he's a class act, Sean Burgoyne.
That's the key point. Plenty of body contact, so it gives confidence with that headgear on after the injury.
Graham and Renoff. Ball knocked down towards Rioli. Stolen by Whitecross and rolls a kick towards Peterson. He read that reasonably well. Second effort okay. Tried to shuffle it out. Sewell, Lewis with a don't argue on the fend off. Got a legal handball away. Ran off towards Mitchell. Also back into this lineup after the hamstring. Sam Mitchell to lead them, the captain. Delidio to Cochin.
Great tackle,
Rioli. Play on advantage. Whitecross long. Franklin held and not given the free. Umpire yelled play on. Franklin slides. McGuan keeps his feet. Gives it up. Newman. Handball to Webberley. And dangerously across goal, and Angus Graham takes the mark. By the way, Angus Graham wearing the number 25 for the first time, changed to number 25 from 44 with Jay Shult's departure to Port Adelaide. Slips the handball inboard. Why kick Delidio outside of the foot? Jackson, clever grab. Handball not so good. Put his teammate under immense pressure, and that is holding the ball free against Cochin.
Well, great start for Hawthorn, Rioli, and now their vice-captain Hodge nailing those tackles.
White, Rioli can play on and does not want to, thought about it. And now Richmond can get players back, although he looks as if he's going to line up from the pocket.
Thanks, Spud. On that, I think both teams have been very good with their chase and pressure and tackling in this first few minutes.
Starts at left, peels it back, not enough.
Really good start, Scotty. Really good.
Really good start, Scotty. I'm not sure if you could hear that, but that's
Yep.
for Scotty McLaren, who's back from suspension as an umpire. And his fellow umpires, as we see a little bit behind the ball, he's got him on the thumb there.
Yeah, not the greatest start for Buddy Franklin. Just a little clash of hands there, an elbow on the hand, and
Right on the knuckle.
yeah,
Didn't he have an operation on the hand?
he might
Yeah, that was last year.
Yeah, which might still be a little...
No,
still be an issue, maybe.
Exactly, and we saw a few players try and get it last year. Yeah, Scotty McLaren, some words of encouragement from his fellow umpires.
no, that's fair enough too.
That's good.
Here's a Rioli tackle that is unbelievable for Rioli.
That's what we spoke about pre-game.
Yeah.
It's one of the keys for Cyril Rioli.
Yeah.
The goals will come as a byproduct of that sort of work.
Mitchell wobbles a kick, and it was the required 15, marked by Shane Edwards. Down the middle, over the head of Nahas.
We've got to hit that target when they're free in the middle of the ground.
Brown, Birchall, Burgoyne, he'll hit it. In fact, he goes shorter. It wasn't really meant for Hodge, and that kick wasn't really meant for anybody. Bouncing ball to the pocket. Renouf attacked it well. Rioli already had a sider from here. Goes central. Peterson stays down. Didn't come his way, the punch. Mitchell, well, he might be a bit rusty. Just back from that hamstring and couldn't pick that up. Foley does. Gives to Tuck. Hands it off, and the run now from Newman.
Got Rewalt running to the other side.
Should have given it, but they might still have a chance to. Edwards slips, and at the inopportune time, Sewell, and now look out. Hawthorn on the rebound with 3 men. Guerra, Brown, they can raffle it. Peterson takes it, should give to Lewis, who can get and go. 70 from goal. Goes with a bomb inside 50. Franklin, half held, goes for the chest mark. Graham gets back, gives to Kelvin Moore. Runs across the defensive goal square. Not a lot of pressure on. Short pass, okay to Foley.
This facet of the game with the test for the Tigers, trying to hit targets on their way out of their defensive 50. Must hit the targets because you'll be hurt the other way with turnovers.
Well, the one that when they were running through the middle of the ground, Jack Rewalt was pushing hard forward.
Oh, yeah.
They went for the extra handball also. Just the decision, when you get an opportunity to get the ball inside your forward 50, and I know that the Richmond coaching staff, that's one of their KPIs, to try and win the inside 50s if they can.
And it's one of those situations when there's pressure on from the opposing team, and there's a pressure that's built over the first 8 weeks of the season. They panic, don't have that awareness around.
Grant's forced to backtrack into Campbell Brown, and it's not the kind of guy you want to backtrack into.
Well, he started the season, Campbell Brown, as you said, Dwayne Pony's 150th there. Burgoyne, they're trying to work him over, the Richmond boys, but Burgoyne will have none of that.
Dustin Martin in game 7, Sean Burgoyne in game 158, although game 1 for Hawthorn, of course. Inboard, a little 1-2 was okay, and can they make something of it? Tambling back to Cotchin.
Beautifully worked through.
But the kick forward, not good, although Nason makes it okay. Sprints inside 50, goes to Rewalt, good pass.
Outstanding.
Should have gone for goal. We all would have gone for goal.
He went for goal.
Did he?
We'll have a look at the replay. He shanked that.
Oh, that's
a shank.
You're unkind.
Oh, no, I'll give him credit.
It'll go down as a scoring assist, but that kick to Rewalt, that was on about 5 minutes ago through the middle of the ground, but good forward play.
You've given him absolutely no credit there.
No, I haven't, I must admit.
But he will get the assist because it's a goal, and the opening goal at that.
I'll back down, prepared to back down once we have a look at the replay, but I thought it was a shank. But you're spot on, Spud. There's been a number of occasions through the centre of the ground approaching forward 50 that Richmond have tried to maintain possession rather than kick very quickly. So there was over possession on that occasion. Nason's pushed very hard, we see right of screen.
Just on the ground too, Nason.
Have a look at what he does here. That's a shank, isn't it? Oh, I'm interested. Bit of feedback.
He was looking at the goals, but it was funny. After he kicked it, looked at Rewalt. But I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, Lynchy.
I think when he dropped it, he was going for goal, but as he swung his leg through, just changed his mind.
Oh, that's highly skilled man then if he's done that. So we'll give him the goal assist, but it's an important goal for the Tigers.
Can I weigh into this one, boys, down the boundary line? From my view down here at boundary side, I would have thought that he was definitely having a shot. So I'm with you, Lynchy.
Very good
work
pickers.
For our new boundary rider pickers down there.
He's looking sharp down there too, isn't he?
Setting a big standard. What about Franklin's tackle there? That was an amazing tackle. Now, had McGuan dropped the ball as he was on his way to the deck there, that would have been weeks for Lance Franklin, as it was for Shane Mumford last week. You look at this tackle. He grabs him.
Very hard for
He throws him to ground. Now, had that ball been dropped before he hit the deck, that was weeks.
Yes, Shane Mumford got 2 weeks for a similar action on Gary Ablett last week, but Rioli, Hodge and Franklin.
And by the way, it shouldn't have got 2 weeks.
Exactly. Rioli, Hodge and Franklin all nailed beautiful tackles.
That's the arc that he runs, and that's what happens occasionally. He bends it too far.
His last 3 games against the Tigers, he's kicked 9 goals, 19.
9-19.
So he's had plenty of shots, he's had plenty of opportunities. One particular game a couple of years ago, kicked 1-8.
Plenty of ball.
Newman long. Off hands. Jackson, Delidio, Edwards. Cut off by Renouf, the tallest man on the ground to try and kick over. Gee, they're fighting in hard at the moment. Mitchell went in very hard there.
Well, it's good, but Edwards, you have to use hands there, you know, to try and chip a kick over the tallest man in the Hawthorn team.
Well, he's the smallest man out there, and he went over the tallest guy.
Just use hands in that instance.
Sewell, he dropped it, was tackled. Mitchell gets a foot on it. It was a 3-metre kick. Lewis, no prior opportunity there. Umpire Scott McLaren back from suspension, right on the money there. Ball up.
Again, the Tigers pushed big numbers around, trying to close the space on the Hawthorn players.
Jackson to Edwards. Gives a handball this time, but turns it over to Stokes, who turns it back over to Jackson. Newman. Tigers playing with some poise at the moment. McGuan.
This is a spread. Nason once again has worked extremely hard from one side of the ground to the other to get involved.
So Nason to Nahas. Bouncing ball, gathers, Hodge, runs him down, gives back to Nason. Run from Weberly, closed down by Young. No prior opportunity there either. Ball up.
That was almost the team prior opportunity. Nason just a bad handball high.
Damien Hardwick now coaching the Tigers. You always see who he nails as an opposition player. He's got Daniel Jackson on Sammy Mitchell, so you always look with interest who, when you change clubs, who the coach rates.
Exactly, having spent time under Alistair Clarkson as an assistant. And he obviously rates Sam Mitchell highly. Free kick to the Tigers out of that against Jordan Lewis.
Well, it's a couple of wins for the Tigers. Been able to hold the ball inside their forward 50, and that is a real win, especially against Hawthorn. They love to counter-attack and switch the play, the Hawks, so to hold the ball in is a huge win. And once you drag it in, you must release the ball from that scrimmage.
There was no way he's going to be able to release that one. As players do, they jump in, hold the ball in. It's near impossible to get it out.
To extend the Tigers' lead. Hawks have had as many scoring opportunities. That from outside 50, spectacular.
That's a great result for the Tigers. Their tackling pressure is certainly up. Their midfield, their defensive half, and especially their forward half are prepared to chase, tackle, close space. And we see this instance, Lewis has gone to ground and he's held the ball, but there's no doubt about that. The Richmond players have held the ball under. There was no way Lewis was going to get out. A little bit stiff, but that is just part of modern AFL football at the moment. You go down and take the ball with you, you're going to be in a lot of strife.
Pickers on the boundary there. It looks like Tigers are the run and carries really out there today.
Yeah, handball receives up at the moment. Cochin's been taking the Hawthorn zone on, as has Newman and also Nason, who's pretty impressive early in this game, boys.
Yeah, well, Cochin's had 5 handball receives. Richmond 21-11 in Richmond's favour.
No clearance here. Another ball up coming.
Probably not a bad way to break it up, too. The Hawks zone's actually pretty deep, and we know that when they're on the job in that respect, well, then they're very hard to score against. But because of the run and carry off halfback in particular, they've been pretty dangerous to Tigers when they've gone inside 50.
Wade Skipper into the ruck for Hawthorn. Speaking of first games for the club, Sean Burgoyne and Wade Skipper playing their first. Ball slapped out. Kelvin Moore. Boundary line looming. Oh, good effort from Peterson. He dived in where Angels feared to tread there and forced the ball up. Yeah, Newman probably, you expected it always.
Well, you want that from your captain. Oh, clash of heads. That's fantastic from both those boys. Chris Newman maybe coming off the blood rule. Yeah.
So the head clash sent him off second best.
It was fantastic to see both boys going hard at the ball. That's what you want from your skipper. Ooh, gee.
Both had their heads down. You know, that head-high contact, you're normally going to get a free kick, but
he might be
this instance.
Might be a little angry, Carl Peterson. He was drafted by Richmond, picked 60 back in 2006, but they didn't play him and delisted him, and here he is at the Hawks.
Well, that's what you want from your skipper, though, as you see Newman coming off the ground. Unconditional at the contest. That's what you want from your leaders.
Sam Mitchell having a spell as well. Just a couple of staples in the right eye, above the right eye, you'd imagine, and back out there shortly.
Vickery and Skipper. Vickery got a fingernail on it. Not a decisive one, though. Still in there, Foley, Sewell. Umpire pleading for it to be knocked out, but he'll be forced to bounce it.
Inside 50s at this stage of the game, 6-3 in favour of Hawthorn, and you'd expect with double the inside 50 entries that Hawthorn may convert a little bit better than they've had the opportunity to do with the big forwards they've got.
What Richmond need to do is engage the free defender for Hawthorn. We see Campbell Brown, see Pollock there trying to nurse mine two of them, Gillam and Brown. So there's a half forward for Richmond at the moment at this stoppage. If Richmond win the ball, they're going to be kicking to an outnumbered situation.
Yeah, I think that it seems to be an instruction before the game to over-possess and run to get over the zone and the free player. So they certainly are tending to over-possess the ball at the moment and run it through the zone and then a long kick once they get towards 50.
Okay, they might do exactly as you're talking here. Though the kick doesn't thread its way through. Suckling dragged down. Danger here. A little push in the back for Tambling. Didn't get the free. Centering kick from Farmer. Goal square. Dangerous area. Stolen and goal by Edwards.
Well called, Lynchy. Yeah, absolutely spot on, because you have a look at the disposals. They've had 51 disposals, 22 kicks, 29 handballs.
Yep.
So to kick to that outnumbered situation, you need to work the ball through with great decision making. More importantly, they're using the ball well, Richmond, and best exemplified by this passage of play here. You're not kicking to an outnumbered situation, you're kicking to a one-on-one again. The tackling pressure causes a turnover, and they're first to the ball at the moment, the Tigers. This is a very, very good start for the Tigers.
As always, they get a rest after a goal. Shane Edwards, hot start for the Tigers.
Very impressive start for the Tigers. That intensity, the chase, the work you do when you don't have the ball has been good by both teams, but outstanding from Richmond especially.
Well, the tackle count, boys, 13-6 in favour of the Tigers. So whilst their run and carry's good,
Pickers, they look good. Yeah, it looks like their work rate as well. Pickers, they're first to the ball as well.
Well, Damien Hardwick obviously spent a lot of time at Hawthorn, so he'd know the sort of style of footy that will worry Hawthorn. And at the moment, it's that run and carry and the defensive pressure.
Runner got in the way there. That'll be a free kick to Richmond.
Hawthorn runner, yes. And it also... Hear the explanation.
That's Richie Vandenberg just blocking the hole.
Hear the explanation there.
Jackson sends it long. Dangerous this. Polak flies. Tambling crumbs. It's the handball up. Revolt. Back to Polak. High kick. And Hodge. Couldn't bring the mark down though, and all of a sudden it's dangerous again. Nason ducked into that, so it might be holding the ball.
Another win.
No.
That's another win for the Tigers. They've been inside their forward 50 five times for 3 goals, so that's great efficiency. And again, to hold the ball in this area is a huge win for the young Tigers team.
Has it bounced straight back out, which is what you're saying, Spoke.
Sam Mitchell free kick.
Sam Mitchell free off the ball. We have turned the umpires down a little, but there's been a lot of talk about holding off the ball between players, and the umpires have been warning each other to be careful of it.
That'd be a relief for Hawthorn to get a free kick 20 metres out.
Good smother. It's the work rate of just these little things. They don't go in the stat sheet of marks, kicks, handballs. It's just the body work. It's the pressure there. Jack Revolt just in the game. That is an outstanding smother.
We've seen this sort of intensity from Richmond before at Subiaco Oval against Fremantle in the first half. They couldn't sustain it, so that'll be a test today. They've been fantastic in this first stanza.
Burgoyne to Ellis to Mitchell to Roughhead, who hasn't seen a lot of it yet. That's a good sign. Franklin in a one-on-one. That's a good sign as well. Taps to his own advantage. Half held, no free. Should soccer, does, and gets it behind.
I think he was holding there off the ball. You see Lance Franklin talking to the umpire. You just have to have another look here.
It was before that. He missed out on a free that mere mortals would have normally got. Because he's Lance Franklin, sometimes has to work a bit harder to get it.
The initial spoil from McGuan, though, was very, very good. It's the most difficult spoil in the modern game now when you've got an open forward line running at the flight of the ball. Still to get a hand on it was a very good spoil from Luke McGuan.
And actually, he didn't go to ground. He had to push back, and it was easy to be pushed aside. He held his feet well.
McGuan, back pocket. High kick. Rance might jump from 4 deep. Graham there. Rance did get a hand on it. Burgoyne caught by the helmet.
Well, you can see the intention there from the Richmond player, but his arms were just far too high in the initial tackle. Had to shoot from the hips.
Good start from Sean Burgoyne. This will be possession number 5, and he's been involved in a lot of contests.
Roughhead. Should have marked that. Got an arm slap free.
Well, Angus Graham, he's the ruckman behind the play for the Tigers. He had to be aware of where Franklin was. We'll have a look at the Lance Franklin hold here, or see if there is a hold. It was a terrific spoil initially from Luke McGuan.
And here's Roughhead. Was a tiny grab on the jumper, but not a lot on Franklin. Roughhead takes a big breath. Walks in from the gutter. Kicked 6 goals last week. And that's not his first today.
Spud, you would have had 200 kicked on you if that was a free kick in your day.
Well,
there wasn't a lot in it, it's fair to say.
No, there wasn't. And good decision in the end by the umpire.
Tuck.
It was great work from McGuan.
Yep.
Move it on. Yours.
Wide. Stumped away from White. Still alive, although the umpire says it was out.
They've done well. The inside 50s, Hawthorn have had 8 to Richmond's 5, yet they haven't kicked a major. So trying to get the ball in there quickly, Hawthorn, just not quite getting the ball to advantage when it's going in there.
Short throw in. Renouf took it out of the ruck, then dropped it as he was tackled. Ellis, Franklin, little don't argue, and gets away with it on Foley. 1-2 with Lewis. Another don't argue, gets his arms free. Gillum all the way back. Stratton should launch them forward. Lets Lewis do that. Handball over the top. Birchall back again through hands. Great pressure, Richmond, and they win themselves a free kick to Foley.
Deserved that one. Certainly working at a high rate, and they've got to move it on quickly here.
Jackson with the thump. Campbell Brown in the box seat. Flies. Rebolt took it out of his reach. Polak couldn't grab it. Hodge gets back. Last line of defence. Dangerous but spectacularly good kick to Burgoyne.
Well, that was that long kick to where they were outnumbered on that occasion. Kicking efficiency is way down for Hawthorn. We'll just watch this one first, Dwayno.
Birchall could go all the way here. No one in front of him. Bounces to 50. Sends a long ball towards goal. Boy, did they need that. And they got it in style.
Pickers will throw down to you, Sean Burgoyne. He's had some start for his new club.
Oh, he's been great, Spud. It's interesting. They're playing him on the centre wing, so they're playing him out of the traffic. We know he's a fantastic contested footballer, I should say, but he's very good inside the stoppages and around the stoppages, but they're protecting him a little bit by playing him outside, but getting plenty of the footy, and he's using it really well, Spud.
Oh, it's a great start. He's had the 6 disposals already, Sean Burgoyne. Richmond are trying to rough him up. I think they need to play tight on him and beat him to the ball.
And Grant Birchall, who kicked 2 goals last week against the West Coast, has a rest for his goal.
Well, that was the first time the ball hasn't either gone through a goal in Richmond's end or they've held it up with a stoppage.
Yep.
As soon as the ball releases outside that forward 50, they've got a goal, Hawthorn, so Richmond need to try and hold the ball in there.
Again.
Mitchell, Guerra, Renouf, handball behind Lewis, and that might have messed it up. Renouf tried to mop up his mess here, caught by Dustin Martin in a wraparound tackle, dead. Dived on the footy and Martin dived on him.
So holding the ball. This is the poor handball. It just had to be out in front of Lewis. And even if you're going to make a mistake, make it in front so at least he can run onto it with a bounce.
Rance, Revolt. Revolt got hands to it. Sewell, front and centre with the crumb.
Getting numbers back, Hawthorn, and then I'll run it out with extra numbers.
Guerra to Lewis. Handball into Farmer. Burgoyne again gets them out of trouble. Lewis, a little fumble. Hasn't been the same since his concussion earlier this season. Jordan Lewis, he admitted that. He initially played and then was dropped because of poor form, but just hasn't quite been the same footballer since.
Well, Burgoyne's had the 7 disposals. 4 of those have been contested. Terrific start.
And saying that, Jordan Lewis did have 31 possessions last week as Renouf goes with a hip and shoulder.
There's a late inclusion last week as well and had a very good game in the end. So in the last 2 times Richmond's gone in long and deep, Hawthorn have been able to rebound.
But just have to be aware of that extra number down there.
Just got to carry the ball as they did. We felt they were over-possessing early, but it seems to be working for them. Long and deep is not good for them at the moment.
Wide cross to Mitchell, who gave it to him initially. Burgoyne, kick smothered, turnover. Cochin floats it up. Polak flies, got hands to
Good
it.
attack.
Rance, nice crumb, but they crumbed him.
You see Richard Tambling here just about runs into a brick wall in Brent Renouf there. Polak looked to hurt himself too after that marking situation there. He straightened up beautifully. He looks a little bit winded just on the top of the screen there.
Hopefully it's only winded. Revolt tackles Stratton.
The good thing, he's made a very strong contest. They were outnumbered once again, but had to make a contest, got the ball down to the front where Richmond did have numbers.
Well, Rance got there, but you'd ask the question, where was Nahas and Nace in those situations? Little crummers.
Sorry, Spanner, I reckon Hawthorn's efforts there, they're just a bit fumbly at the moment.
No, I think that's due to the pressure too, Pickers, that Richmond have really come to play, and the tackles, as you talked about early on, they've had 18 tackles, Richmond, to Hawthorn's 12, so their work rate has been there. Damien Harwick and the coaching staff be wrapped at their start.
Angus Graham having a rest after starting in the ruck. Vickery now on. And stolen by Dustin Martin. He misses. He'd be angry with himself there. That was very kickable.
So even that handball there from Renew, for me, went back to the one in the middle of the ground. The execution poured at Lewis. They should have got a goal out of that. They should have at least had a shot at goal. He misses the target. Even that handball then, just drilled it through him. You know, just way too hard.
And Lynch, you were talking about the clearances for Hawthorn. They've started really well, the Tigers in the clearance area. You said that Hawthorn really need to win the clearances.
Yeah, they certainly do, and it's pretty even at the moment. Richmond leading 8-7, but they're clearer and cleaner clearances that Richmond are getting.
Polak should have marked that, and now Hawthorn on the rebound. Wide ball. Carl Peterson can stroll in here. It sits for him. Lines them up from 49. Franklin instead.
Great discipline. He could have ran all the way there, Peterson. I think that's great team football. He just knew that McGuan was in front of Franklin and played the percentage team play. That is a great passage of play, and again, the ball rebounds quickly out of Richmond's forward 50.
Hasn't gone back far.
Well, whatever works. Tell you what, the goal umpire did some work, but it's there.
A very good run off half-back for Hawthorn. They've managed to get a clearance, and they power run, they gut run out into space. We'll see the numbers. See Peterson left the screen. He's run extremely hard to find space. Richmond are pushing back as well, but they're reactive. And on that occasion, you're certainly right, Spud. He could have run, and probably the best bet might have been to run another 5 metres and have a crack at it. But when you've got Lance Franklin one-on-one at the top of the goal square, it's a fair option as well. Get confidence in that man, and he'll be very dangerous.
Back into the team after missing last week with the ankle problem. Lance Franklin, one of the 6 changes to the Hawthorn lineup that lost last week.
Let him run.
Ball up, Vickery and Skipper. Cotchin breaks free, gets the clearance. Late in this term, Polak. Guerra stole it from him. Lewis, good handball this time. Spearing ball, it was good. Whitecross got on the end of it and then tried to handle to Young, who left it behind. Delidio. Jackson. Nahas.
Will think their way through this. They're outnumbered inside 50. Well done.
Yeah, you got Hodge and Birchall.
Weberly
for Hawthorn.
Just blazing away from Nahas. Wouldn't have worked.
Revolt the target and almost raked it in. Tambling, slick handball. Nahas across the face.
Well, that's a let-off. Nahas, Hawthorn had 2 extras, yet Nahas was still able to get through the pack. So that was a real let-off there.
Yeah, terrible.
Well, that's what Pickers is talking about. Just the fumbles there for Hawks. They're just off their game at the moment. They're working into it, though.
Wait till I say.
There's Wade Skipper playing his first game for the club.
Short, Birchall.
3 metres!
3 metres, better push back quickly.
Thank you.
Pickers, that's probably a chance for Richmond to gain some ascendancy too in the ruck with Skipper versus Vickery.
Yeah, I reckon he'll probably do 30% of the ruck work today. And I reckon the rest of it will be with the big fella Renault.
Franklin took off, wobbled one towards Roughhead. Rough kick and Roughhead dragged down. No free. Newman backtracks. White backtracks. Martin. Trouble. Dropped it.
Good tackle, Sewell.
And Rioli wrapped him up. And no free for Rioli either.
Well, it should have been.
Hawthorn might be in trouble here against Sewell.
Well, I'd love to have a look at the Surioli tackle again on Dustin Martin. He's taken him on. He's had prior opportunities, and the ball's spilt. That's a free kick.
Yeah, incorrect disposal
No
there.
handball,
And
no
Sewell's
kick.
dived in to get possession and pinged.
Well, this is a double whammy. Richmond have now got the ball. Instead of Hawthorn going inside their forward 50 to Lance Franklin or Roughhead.
It was good play from Hawthorn because they forced Richmond back. They just forced back. They should have been rewarded, but they weren't. Dangerous kick.
Absolutely. Young tried to make amends for his error moments ago. Lays a big tackle. Wrap-around tackle on White. Dustin Martin breaks free. Had prior opportunity again there and dropped it and didn't dispose of it. What is it, Dustin Martin Day?
Yeah, but it was good strength from him too, Dwayne.
It was, but umpires have been reluctant to pay 2 frees against him.
They had to pluck one there eventually.
That's the evener upper, is it? Mitchell straight up in the air. White cross flies. Can't mark. Graham. Foley. Tuck. Newman. Trying to work it in confined spaces. Jackson.
Yeah, this is good use of the ball.
Foley.
They need to keep running with hands here because
Newman
they've got
again.
outnumbered forward to the ball.
Loops it over the top. Weberly. He could go for goal. Floats it towards Revolt. Birchall gets back. Makes the contest. Revolt hits the deck. They get out of jail there. Short pass Stratton. Okay.
Well,
White
numbers
cross.
everywhere.
Wide ball. Rioli lurking. gathers. Know where he wanted to go initially, but Carl Peterson made it look good, and Roughhead should swallow this in the pocket.
You've got 3 Richmond defenders there. The dangerous space was behind all the defenders. They had to know that Jared Roughhead had got goal side. One of the Richmond defenders had to really try and help Firstfield out there. But I really like Richmond's way they played through the middle of the ground, taking the game on through hands.
Short pass, Peterson got free.
Well,
not sure how he did, but the 2 Tiger players there,
Dwayne,
Farmer and Delidio, look at each other.
Dwayne, there's 6 Richmond players there guarding space.
Well, that's the problem. It was into a zone situation, so no one becomes accountable.
At some stage, one of those guys had to man Peterson up. It's okay to guard some dangerous space, but when you've got a forward leading into an area like that, you just got to play hip on hip.
It's a
The
pretty
zone
big
goes
kick
out the door.
Big kick this. 20 seconds left on the clock. Richmond has dominated the quarter. And in the shadows of quarter time, Hawthorn can take the lead. They don't. Across the face and only a behind. Richmond by 2 points. Just 10 seconds remaining. And you wouldn't think time enough for a Richmond score. They wouldn't want to turn it over in the closing second or two. Tuck. Back to Newman. And danger averted. Farmer takes it on defensive 50. Hasn't been an overly impressive Hawthorn outfit, and yet they're only 2 points away at quarter time. The winless Tigers fight their way to 3-1-19. The 2-5.
As if to say, how's it going?
Yeah.
So you could see the body language.
There was a bit of concern there. There's no doubt about that. They wouldn't like to see that man go off. But
He's flinching it as just there, trying to
definitely didn't have strapping on the left hand at the start.
So he's back out there. Be interesting to see how he goes to that first contest.
And away we go. No, we don't. We'll have a restart. Umpire Damien Sully will toss it in the air. Umpire appreciation weekend, of course, and we appreciate how difficult it is to bounce the ball, even when you're an experienced man. From the ball up, Renoff with the knockdown, Cochin with the clearance. Hodge trying to get there. Stays down because Brown jumped for it. Nahas with the handball and gets it inside to Rance. Caught. Sewell dragged down.
Yeah, it was a superb bit of play from Brad Sewell.
Good clearance from Cochin as well. He's a good young player in those stoppages.
Yeah, well, they've won the stoppages. That's a real win for the Tigers, especially against this just about a premiership midfield there with Lewis, Sewell, Mitchell.
Some outstanding names for Hawthorn. The youngsters from Richmond are certainly matching the big guns from Hawthorn.
Lewis got it from Sewell. Renoff thought he was in the ruck there. Gave it up. Foley, Jackson, Nason, caught and dispossessed. Rioli spectacular. Hands off to Mitchell. Backtracks, gives it back in the Rioli direction. Tuck came hard.
Tackle,
Caught him by the leg. Newman, Webberley. Good game at the moment. Delidio shoots it back. Firstfield. Terrible kick. Edwards has to track it down, and Ellis easy steal, and the Hawks have some numbers here.
Forward.
Sean Burgoyne short. Franklin and put down. Was it 50? No.
It's worked very well for Richmond.
Well, it did. Burgoyne, if he had to lift his eyes, Quinton Young was on his own in the goal square.
Rough head, and Firstfield was right with him. Ball out of play.
Shane Tuck was taking the tackle on, and you could just see it's a magnificent tackle. The way he
you can
buries
see a
his
few
head.
of the boys that have played a bit of one of the rugby codes, league or union. That was a shoulder down into the legs and driving tackle.
Yeah, you do have to be careful laying those tackles.
Lucky Tuck's a little bit heavier.
Oh, holding the ball. That's a big one. Dragged it in according to Scott McLaren. Sorry, guys.
No, you're right there, Dwayne. This is more important. Have a look at Lance Franklin there.
Go on it, mate. You've got to get it out.
So Carl Peterson to have the shot. Umpire Scott McLaren explaining why the free was given. Even if you make an attempt, it has to actually come out.
Yeah, well, once you drag it in, that is the rule. It's been there for 4 years now, so...
Such a difficult one when the opposition are so well drilled to hold the ball in under you.
And your born instincts is to win the ball.
That's right. Big kick this. For the Hawks to take the lead. Peterson's first, and he loved it.
Absolutely loved it. He's very excited about that. He's got his free kick, and Just slotted it, missed an opportunity before quarter time, but here's the free kick. Nason tries to get around the tackle to start with. It was probably an incorrect disposal. That's the Cyril Rioli steal at the other end of the ground, which was outstanding work. And this one, ruck contest, players have gone in there, and Tuck's just dragged that one in, but it's under you, and it's a difficult one. It's a tough one. Lewis in the first quarter was tough as well.
Gee, that is tough, yeah.
No, that's not tough. That's wrong.
That's wrong.
Well, Shane Tuck had his hands free. Now, that is
He wasn't even where the ball was.
And look, Hawthorn did the right thing, by the way, by holding the ball in. Everyone's aware now, once you drag it in, but once he dragged it in, he got rid of the ball, and Hawthorn kept it in, so...
Almost in the same part of the ground, Jordan Lewis's was exactly the same. He did drag the ball in, but in the end, he didn't have possession when the free kick was given. But, yeah, tough one.
You could see Shane, though. He's had both hands out to show the umpire, so it's not me. I haven't got it.
Key is don't get possession at the bottom of the pack. You're in strife.
Couple of frees going Hawthorn's way. Ran off to Young.
Oh, how far?
Sends a long ball. Rough head. Good attack, Thursfield. Gathers, gives it off to Lidio. Needs to hit a target now. Goes short with the hand. McGuan, Lidio, Vickery, Weberly. Ran into a brick wall in Sam Mitchell. And Lewis gets one for too high. Plays on quickly. Franklin to the pocket. Can't get there. Gathers on the bounce. Runs away and should snap a goal.
Gone the other way, that one.
Bends the opposite way and it's out of bounds on the full.
The reverse swing.
Well, Richmond's still trying to run it out with numbers, but they need support with the ball carrier. Then just ran into a brick wall, young Weberly into Sam Mitchell. So take the game on, but you need support.
Vickery set up with that one, had to wait under it. Sean Burgoyne dragged down. It's a handball up Sewell. Through traffic nicely. He just handballs it back, tries to get it to Birchall, short to Young.
Well, it's a super kick. Just lowered his eyes there, Gillum.
Gillum it was, sorry.
No, if he blazed away, would be kicking to an outnumbered forward line. That is a very clever kick.
Well, some of their key players starting to get involved in the game. Clinton Young's only had a couple of touches, but Sammy Mitchell, Jordan Lewis, those sort of players, boys, are starting to get right on top here.
This for Hawthorn's biggest lead of the game for 10 points. Struck it okay, struck it beautifully. Hawks suddenly by 10.
Well, Richmond under an enormous amount of pressure here. They were very good for the most part of the first quarter, but now if they concede quick goals, the danger is that this game might open up. They've got to continue to put pressure on the ball carrier, get big numbers around the stoppage, but that's some very good work for Hawthorn to find a target inside 50 and then convert their opportunities. They weren't doing that in the first quarter, and they've bounced back early in the second term and got reward for effort.
Mr. Chunk of footy last year, Clinton Young, great to have him back. But Sam Mitchell and Burgoyne, as Pickers was talking about, they've had 21 disposals between them, both inclusions into this team, so they're having a fantastic impact.
Franklin with 9 as well, another inclusion for this week's game.
Ran off with the palm down, Rioli, busted off it. Vickery, Jackson, Edwards slides in, Farmer, Delidio. They get the clearance eventually. Rance, and good grab.
A standing grab under enormous amount of pressure. Took the second or third grab at it on the ground.
Low kick, and it works. Nahas inside 50.
Well, it was a half a low kick and half a floated, Dwayne, and very hard to read, but Nahas read it beautifully.
Certainly wasn't meant for him.
Massive numbers back for Hawthorn. They've got the zone in place.
I was watching Campbell Brown. He just assumed the ball was either going to fall short or go over the back. He was Nahas' opponent in that passage of play.
Just keeps ticking along. Robin Nahas, 2 goals again in Adelaide last week. This from 50, just inside the paint and just inside the behind post for a behind.
Need to get the zone in place quickly, hold this ball inside 50, and another score from Hawthorn from this kick out would be absolute danger signs for the Tigers.
Hodge.
Everyone on this half of the ground.
Ran off, that's a good mark. Some pressure there, but clearly outmarked Ty Vickery.
He had to be a bit stronger in the body there, Tyrone Vickery.
Roughhead looks up and he's got Ellis. Tries to hit him with the pass. Ellis did okay, second effort. Rioli dives in, he's over it.
Yeah, well, he's in
Richmond
trouble.
players pleading for the free.
Well, with a consistent Dwayne, Rioli got first hands on it. Look, it's a tough rule because,
They're red hot on it
well,
today.
from day dot, you want to win the hard ball and you want to really please your teammates by doing that, but it's such a difficult one.
Roughhead paddled it to his own advantage. Mitchell, Rioli, stops on a dime, gives the handball, ran off, gave it to Sewell, who it was meant for initially anyway, and Lewis waits under it, takes the mark, 48 out.
I'm not sure whether it was meant to go to Lewis, but if the intention was there, it's a very good kick again because Richmond are getting numbers in front of Franklin and Roughhead, and there's always a space around the 45-metre area where Hawthorn are attacking. Their last two shots are goal from identical spots.
Well, in the opening term, Richmond led by the best part of 3 goals. No one in the square. Lewis kicks this, and now Hawthorn lead by 3.
Dwayne, you called it no one in the square. That ball didn't exactly sail over the line by an enormous amount there, so I'm not sure what the Richmond players were thinking, but we see the contest and the holding the ball decision absolutely white hot on that decision at the moment. Some good use. Now, if Sewell meant to do that kick, it's a very good one. A little bit disappointed by the Richmond defenders. There was 3 around that ball, and it was an elevated pass. Just had to read it a little bit better. When the ball was in the air as a defender, you must kill the contest.
Because that's the strength of Roughhead and Franklin. They're zoning, double-teaming those boys, but Hawthorn are smart enough to drop into the hole about 40 metres out.
Yeah, exactly right. They're looking for those players around the 50-metre mark, Spud. It's actually a magnificent day for footy, so the kicking should be at a premium, really. There's not one bit of breeze down here, and you know what a cauldron it is here and how swirly it can get the MCG, so kicking skills should be on today.
Oh, Lewis a little too slick there. He was ridden into the deck by Martin. Tried a quick handball, it didn't work. Nason.
Good
There's
luck.
the high kick. Polak's under it, and Gillum. And a little push in the back. It'll be a Hawthorn free. A little push in the back, and it'll be taken by Stephen Gillum, who plays on quickly. Hodge, clever enough to recover quickly. Bo Mustin. Little paddle towards the line, and that's good enough as Bo hits the gutter.
Have a look at the free kick here against Polak. Just hand in the middle of the back to Gillum. So free kick, good spoil from Gillum. The kick in from Nason just blazed away and made it very difficult for his forward teammate.
Graham, Jackson third man up. Ellis crumbed nicely. Hands it off. Peterson crunched as he got the handball away. Foley, Jackson, Newman, short. Nason leaves that for Weberley.
Where you are, right on, Jordan.
Held up. Jackson. There's that long bomb again. Polak's got 2 to beat most times, and it's pretty hard to beat Hodge and Gillum.
Well, early on they were running with hands. If they're going to blaze away to that area of the ground, make sure it's a one-on-one, and especially should be on the whiteboard at half-time, not if Luke Hodge is free on his own.
Stratton takes on Reebok. Got a little nudge on the kick. It might be a turnover. It stays in. Delidio gets a Shepherd. Handballs it inboard to Dustin Martin. Attacks it well.
Good
Brilliance
strength.
there. He attacks it and gets the handball off, but he missed handling with the handball. Did everything right, bar give it up. Cochin tries to
Got it
handball
back,
it back. Martin through traffic again.
Oh, he's got
This time
the
goes to
over as
Nason.
well.
He handballs it inboard. Weberley.
Oh, well
bang!
done, son.
Dives in.
Fantastic.
It was in the side. It was legal. Richmond fans at the punt right end want a free.
Oh,
Don't get it.
Jeremy Weberley, that is absolutely outstanding. It's one thing to go at the ball, but it's another thing to go when you know you've got 100 kilo, well, ran off there, 105 kilos coming out. That is one of the best bits of play I've seen for the year. Well done, son.
Well done. Second game from Clarence in Tasmania. He'd be very happy with that one. Not at the moment, he's a bit sore, but
Yeah, but
we'll
I'll tell you what, he's won a lot of respect from everyone in football already in his second game.
Franklin with the steal. Low kick and beaten for it. Thursfield beats Roughhead and they can reload.
tell you, there's a lot of respect for Dustin Martin. His efforts there before, he was outstanding. His work rate.
Strong through the hips, Alistair. There, he's very hard to tackle.
Birchall won it, gave to Franklin, who gives it long to Peterson. She's been good. Carl inside, away cross.
Well, there's that area of the ground again.
short, and Ellis.
And it's the Franklin roughhead factor again. The loose player for Richmond are double team the talls, and they're just attacking. There's Jeremy Webley there. Pickers, how is he down there at boundary?
Looks like he's got a bit of a headache, Sputter. It's a big hit, wasn't it? I thought it was quite a fair hit. And he put his head over the footy, mate, and he'll win some respect, the young fella, no doubt.
Xavier Ellis, that's horrible. Just scrapes in for a score.
Richmond just have to react.
He's okay.
To where Hawthorn. Have a look at this hit again. Yeah, that is very good from the boy.
So the head contact was from the ground. The bump from Gillum was into the side, and Webley's head hit the ground after that. So
the Richmond have to react now to where Hawthorn are attacking about that 40-metre out from goal, where the midfielders are dropping into.
Rebold flies. That's a big grab, Rebold.
Monstrous grab, big jump. He's got to hit a target now through the corridor.
It's okay. Tambling called into it by Dustin Martin, and now they're away. Polak on the open side. Newman, Rance pushed hard and he got it and didn't mark it. 60 from goal. Short pass, pocket, getting back by Muston. Body on the line, takes the contact.
Well done from Muston. We'll have a look at this grab. Rebold coming from the side, and another Tasmanian used to do a bit of that. Always hard in a similar sort of jumper.
Boys, not a bad time. Sorry, Spud, not a bad time for the Tigers, actually. We've got Franklin, Hodge, Sewell, and also Rioli on the bench, resting at the moment.
Peterson through traffic. Bo Muston, a little fumble. Gets it away. Lewis crunch. Newman drags him down. Dispossessed, not legally. Tambling gets a free.
Oh, well done. Good attack on the ball there from Newman. He's been terrific today, Chrissy Newman.
And here too. Lewis is involved.
There's no easy ball to be won out there today. I've really liked the way both teams have gone about it, especially in a contested situation. The tackling's been tough, ferocious.
Tambling just sits it up, hoping for a revolt. He was pushed out of that revolt. He'll get the free.
Well, it's a silly play from the Hawthorn defenders.
Well.
Yeah, well, it's silly play because they had extra numbers.
Well, that's right, and you've got to be a little bit more discreet when you're putting a block on. Just very obvious. It wasn't a good kick to Rewalt 1-on-3.
Slams it home. Cuts it to a 10-point lead.
Well, it keeps him in the game. But again, the defender had to be aware he had extra numbers around, so he was never, ever going to mark the ball. Ran off there. It was just, you can just see Gillum. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not a free kick. After looking at that.
Is that a yellow card for acting?
Well, there's no hands in the back. I think the umpire said there was hands, so he's...
It was a fit. It was paid for a block.
Oh, well.
Didn't give him a free run at the ball was the decision.
No free kick, sorry. I know I stick up for the defenders a lot, but that if they start paying free kicks like that, we'll have another look. See Gillum here, he's just eased him under the ball. Now, is he saying he's blocking him?
Well, he's saying he's didn't give him a free run at the ball, but if you give forwards a free run at the ball all the time...
Probably what he could have done better is put one hand in the air or both hands in the air.
Well, there's no harm in actually putting two hands. Pretend you're going for the mark, as poor as it would look, but that's the way you go.
Getting a good run here at the Tigers. Another free from the middle. Cochin heads wide and getting back in the hole, Sean Burgoyne. So do you think he'll get a yellow card, or please explain from the AFL for acting, Jack Rewalt?
No, I don't think so. No, I just don't know whether a free kick was actually in it, but
Franklin, good clutch.
It was a slight block in that one.
Mitchell caught by Jackson, got a handball off. Franklin tried the don't argue. High fend off.
Yeah, well done, Chris Newman. I'll tell you what, he is everywhere today, Chrissy Newman. He's earned some hard free kicks. He's had 13 disposals, 9 handball receives. He's already kicked a goal, and he's had 4 tackles. Great start from the skipper.
He's doing extremely well. He's got the strong body in the Richmond outfit. He's leading his youngsters into battle. That's outstanding work.
Jeremy Webley back on after that crunch. Finds Cochin. They are in this up to their ears,
well,
Richmond.
He's got a one-on-one deep. He can go to this contest here.
Rewalt won't get a fly at it, and Vickery did. Didn't mark, but gave it off to Jackson. Hemmed in. Central kick, and they've got the numbers again, the Hawks. Bo Muston tried to give it back to Suckling. Diving through was White. Couldn't break free with it.
That's a win.
Get a ball up.
This is how the game started for the Tigers. They're able to hold the ball inside their forward 50. When it springboards out, that's when they've been in a lot of trouble. But this gives them a chance to settle their midfield.
Hawthorn have 16 in the defensive 50.
Ran off. Palm down, Sean Burgoyne. Hodge, Birchall, back pocket. Rioli, got hands to it. No mark. Webberley sends it back. High kick. Guerra stays down. Riewoldt played for another free there. Jackson got the ball.
Great goal.
And kicks a ripper. It's a 4-point game.
That's when you can go long under pressure. Just get it in there when you've got some numbers. Riewoldt didn't kick the goal. You just see the wrestle here. Yeah, a little bit of a nuzzle there from Renouf. Not a lot in that, but it was a great attack here from Riewoldt. He was the one that's caused the spill. He just flew. Actually was straight in the end. Wasn't great play. Should have marked the ball. I actually thought Riewoldt got a purchase on that and he didn't, but not a great passage to play there from the Hawk defence.
Some good work from the Tigers. When we said that Hawthorn had 16 in their defensive 50, that meant actually, well, smartly, the Richmond forwards pulled a couple of numbers out. So when they blazed away, trying to get out of defensive 50, Richmond had numbers at the fall of the ball.
Renouf with the palm down, but Cochin with the clearance. Wide ball, a couple of players go down, Suckling and Nason. Nason bounced up, bounces his way inside 50, spears toward goal, punch through. Stephen Gillam got a fist on it, and it is a behind, or is it out of play? Umpires have a chat. It is clearly a behind.
It was a great chase down.
It was a very good chase on that occasion. Just put enough pressure on the ball carrier.
Guerra to himself, just strolled around Riewoldt toward half back. Polak and a big pack flies. Tuck, Peterson, boundary umpire.
Just want to have a look at this replay again when Jack Riewoldt led for the ball. I think his direct opponent Stratton could have marked the ball. Oh no, sorry, this is Gillam. Very good spoil there. Great spoil.
Don't hold in front.
Renouf and Polak. Slick palm down to Mitchell. To half forward, Franklin's there. Kelvin Moore got a fist on it. Back of the pack, Rioli, look out. And he ran straight past it. In fact, he ran through it. Maybe that was part of the plan. Left foot kick, no way. No way! Hard to believe, but brilliant.
Well, it wouldn't have been as good a goal, Dwayne, if he picked it up first time. That was fantastic work. But on two occasions, the Richmond defenders just let the ball get over the back. And the direct contest when Rioli's picked up the ball and kicked the goal was another bit of evidence that Richmond need to work harder to keep the ball. See, this instance, a high ball, that 3-on-1 in the area, had to keep the ball in front. Gets over the back, dangerous for Rioli. Run over the ball again, gets over the back and clears space towards goal.
Kel Moore's his direct opponent. Did the right thing, team thing, to try and go up. But when you go up, you've got to get a real strong purchase on the ball and get it out of the area. Actually get it out of the postcode, same postcode of Sil Rioli there, because you don't clear it. His direct opponent, Rioli, was too good there.
The worst thing that happens, it goes over the back and you're vulnerable.
Vickery got a handball up just in time. Cochin a wobbler to half forward. Bounces past a couple. Riewoldt could have just grabbed that, played for the free again. Brown, Muston, Birchall, Muston, Hodge. Gee, problem here. Hodge takes them on through traffic, turnover, Riewoldt, the snap, could have given the handball to any of four options. And he kicks a behind Jack Riewoldt.
Well, from ground level, normally your first option's to give. And Nathan Foley was the guy running towards goal. Blazed away, was under a lot of pressure.
Probably rushed the kick. He had probably a little bit more time. There was a block there, but you're going to rush it, I suppose.
There was a lot of voices there, though, on tipping Alistair.
You would hope there would have been. If there was, though, he didn't hear them.
Tell you what, boys, some of the young Hawthorn defenders have lacked a bit of composure this afternoon, though.
No, they have, because I think Stratton early on had a chance to mark the ball when Daniel Jackson kicked that goal. So, yeah, they lacked a bit of composure down there. Gibson's been a pretty big loss for them.
Yes, and they dropped Sean Makers this week after it's virtually been one of their mainstays in defence for the last year and a half. So they've tried to make a change or two to get the chemistry right.
He's been playing a little bit in the ruck too, Dwayne, I think, Sean Makers, so...
Strong tackle on that occasion from
ruckman.
Mitchell.
Two ruckmen, of course, today, Hawthorn, Skipper and Renouf. Renouf doing the work at the moment. Played 23 minutes. second term. Hawthorn by 8 points. And a good contest to watch. Pretty good crowd in as well. Two Melbourne teams head-to-head on a Sunday afternoon. Mitchell, Sewell, turnover. Jackson, a wobbler, front spot Stratton.
Well done, Stratton. Took front position. The ball was a tumbling kick in, and the man in front was always going to be favoured.
Oh, the kick a little ugly, and clean bowls and finds Brown. And they're away. Birchall, Franklin. Across half-back. Heads wide.
Great
and
kick.
Sean Burgoyne was there waiting. Mitchell. Who's he got to go to? Inside 50, Rioli will do.
That was an outstanding kick from both Franklin
Rioli
and
to
Mitchell.
Stokes. Tried for Stokes. It was cut off by Delidio.
And not Rioli. But great play up the wing from Hawthorn. Great use of the ball until that last disposal inside 50 from Rioli.
Too unselfish. He tried to get Cameron Stokes, who's in for his first game of the year, involved, but
Certainly did appear so.
it wasn't the right option. As much as you like to help your teammates to get a touch. Stratton working hard again. Tambling just as hard with him. Guerra dives in to make it a 3-on-2. And we'll get a ball up. Richard Tambling, of course, was a player that's been discussed a lot and had to see a psychologist to help him cope mentally with being drafted ahead of Lance Franklin, given how much speculation there's been about it. Not too sure it's his fault where he's drafted, but obviously it's been hard for him. Sewell heads wide. Franklin up towards the boundary. Dustin Martin.
Great ball. That's what we talk about as defender. Get the ball out of the area in front.
Nason, Delidio, half-back, short, Foley. Tigers playing with confidence, although White just dropped it. Foley heads long. Angus Graham takes the mark. Little use of the hand there.
I reckon he was had the forearm in the back on that occasion. I thought he actually executed that marking contest extremely well. Put the right forearm, I think, in the back, so that's okay. He still can't push in the back, but you can use the forearm to brace. Let's have a look. Goes long here. There's a right forearm bent. So that's a very good mark. Good use of the body. Just needs to go back and convert this one. Just get that 6 points closer. Hawks are out by 8 points at the moment.
First game of the year for Angus Graham. Chance to get his confidence on the rise. And does he bend that back enough? No. It was pretty ugly from the time it left the boot. Need to kick those.
Yeah, you need to kick those. Actually, from the time it left the hand, the drop seemed to be an awkward one, and then chased it with the foot, and that's when the error occurred.
Suckling, short. Ellis got there and then dropped it.
Richmond before the game, we talk about the inside 50s. Well, they're winning those. They've had 24-9. And they're winning the tackles, and they're just down on the contested possession. So for a young team playing against an experienced lineup such as Hawthorn, they're holding their own at the moment.
Good palm down. Lewis. Stokes gets himself a touch.
So
Franklin, little push off. Edwards chased him down. Muston. Hawthorn runner in the way. Hawthorn about to have a shot at goal.
That's
and
twice.
This is the second indiscretion from a Hawthorn runner.
Andrew Russell, it is the commissioning coach.
Luckily, it was the other Hawthorn runner. Wasn't the same one.
See Richie Vandenberg early, and now Andrew Russell, and it could cost them 2 goals. The one they were going to get, and now the one Richmond might get. Foley.
Oh, it was corridor.
Graham will fly and plucks it.
That was an outstanding grab from Graham. I don't think it was a well-placed kick. The Rewalt lead was on. Kick should have been out in front. Have a look at the runner. See here, here's the free kick.
Yeah, they had to pay the free kick, and it's amazing, isn't it?
That's the
Hawthorn
good
are going forward into an open forward
Could
line.
be a 12-point swing here. Now, it's all about the ball drop. We saw the last time he lined up for goal, poor ball drop. Just got a straight one, drops the ball fairly high.
Richmond hunting down their first win of the season. They're in this. It's a 1-point game.
Well, that was very good vision, actually. We saw the high ball drop, but it was very straight on that occasion, and the natural tendency is that your leg will chase the ball, and with a straight drop, good conversion.
Yeah, Andrew Russell there, the Hawthorn runner. Once you change decision, you're right, Lynchy. Very good weighted kick. It just gave him a chance to run and jump at the ball. and whether that was the intended effort. But once he saw grass, Nathan Foley, and you talked us through beautifully the ball drop. Beautiful ball drop, good result.
And it does look like there's a lot of umpires out there today, because the runners and the umpires are wearing exactly the same colour. We know there was a worse clash last week when the umpires looked like Melbourne players, but there's been a bit of confusion a few times today as well.
Is it the umpire appreciation weekend?
It is.
So
I'm blaming the runners for wearing the same colour as they always
I
wear.
think that, well, the umpires are wearing the lime green, which is the community umpires.
And the runners always wear lime green, of course. Hodge sends a wobbler inside 50. Roughhead had a lean day at the office. Whitecross gets there before him. Handballs it up. Peterson rolls one towards goal across the face. And it hits the behind post. It'll be a ball in.
So, Dwayne, you're saying the runners need a clash strip?
Maybe they do. Yes, for green round.
That's the one.
Back into play. In the shadows of half-time. Peterson extracts it and kicks one of the goals of the year.
Great play, but a missed tackle. If you bump and you got the ball, you should tackle. That's the golden rule of AFL footy. Fantastic play from Peterson there, kicking his second goal. Have another look at this. He have a chance to tackle. Yeah, it was Will Thursfield, bumped him. Should have just nailed the tackle. I think he was player conscious here on Lance Franklin. Luke McGuan, I think it is. He half bumped him, should have nailed the tackle there. Player conscious. Damien Hardwick won't be too happy with that one, but great play, Peterson.
He's a live wire, Carl Peterson. Mature age, went and played for Aberfeldy in the EDFL in 2008 after Richmond delisted him. Played a game for Carlton's reserves and back home to Kununurra. And all of a sudden, here he is on the big stage and doing some dominating as well. A couple of goals in this term. Foley, Cochin, trying to get a clearance here. Stokes lays the tackle on McGuan. Ball comes clear to Webley. Newman, Delidio. There's the clearance. Can they get a mark? Revolt there, got a fingernail on it. Back of the pack. Guerra waiting for the handball. Gillum gave it to him. Close to the boundary, and that's good enough. Suckling content to take it out.
Richmond supporters think that was deliberate, but pretty close to the line. That'd be a very harsh decision. Suckling's been all right. Some very good contests around the ground. Hasn't had a lot of the ball, but has got involved when the ball was in the area.
Jackson does some ruck work after a relatively short throw-in.
Throw it in, you take it, Salt.
48-41. Both teams have had their turn with the best part of a 3-goal lead. Currently it's the Hawks by 7 with a minute to half-time. The Tigers a chance here from the ball in. Nahas going nowhere. Another ball up.
Once again, forward 50 stoppage, massive players.
Let him run.
Hawthorn on this occasion have pulled numbers out to match the Richmond midfielders outside the 50 arc.
Edwards does some ruck work. Birchall, Muston, they're all there. Suckling slips a handball out. Lewis dives in. Jackson also. Ball rolled on the line for a while and then just trickled out before Foley could snap it up. Dustin Martin has been at Sean Burgoyne most of the time. You can hear the umpire actually warning him.
It hasn't worked at all. Burgoyne's been one of the better players on the ground. Just play the ball.
Cochin got a kick away. Ranson, Hodge.
Read the ball well off the boot.
Just need to chew this last 30 seconds off the clock here, Hawthorn, without a turnover. Suckling.
Well, they could get away here into some space.
Lewis, little fumble. Hacks it long. Chance for the Tigers here with a turnover. Ball bounced unkindly for them. McGuan dragged down to 10 seconds. Burgoyne thumps it long. Roughhead about to peel onto it. Chance for a score late. Knocks it towards the boundary line. 5 seconds. No free. No holding the ball. Out of play, and that might do us. It does. Siren, and it's on. Roughhead dragged down over the boundary. Umpires watching closely. There's some spice in this, and they're all going in. Just keep our eyes on it.
Yeah, the umpires are doing a pretty good job to try and release McGuan and Roughhead. A couple of tough nuts.
Well, if you needed it confirmed that there's a bit on this, regardless of the fact that it's 14th and 16th on the AFL ladder, that's confirmed it for you. Richmond yet to win a game this year. Hawthorn, their season on death row, 1 win and 6 losses. Big second half coming up. The Hawks lead by 7, 6-5-41 to 7-6.
Hardwick.
There's no doubting Richmond would take every day of the week, Alistair, that Franklin and Roughead have only kicked the 1 goal between them. I know that Hawthorn are in front, but these conditions would suit them. I agree with Pickers. They need to get the ball in there a little bit quicker and a little bit more direct and to their advantage.
Yeah, isolate the 2 gun forwards for the Hawks, and it's going to be very hard for the Tigers defenders to stop them. But at the other end, they've worked the ball very well, Richmond. Worked it through half forward, got the ball in low and short. That seems to be the recipe for the Tigers to score.
Second half underway. Vickery in the ruck, beaten for it by Renoff, although he pumped it straight down to Foley. Edwards, short-ish.
Oh, it's a big reach.
Well, that's the beauty of a centre clearance.
Oh, it's reversed. Possibly Rance.
Gee, that is a horrible turnover, because the confidence of Graham Polak after that grab, had he completed it with a goal, would have risen.
And in the second term, we saw Angus Graham as well. Took a couple of very good marks, but Polak, a good reach.
Mitchell heads wide. Roughead, 1-on-1, Thursfield. Free kick to Roughead.
Well, Damien Howard would have been sitting in the box out like this. We've won a centre clearance. We've gone forward, and Polak's got a shot on goal.
Wide cross to Young. Long thump. Franklin's got 2 to beat here. McGuan got there with a fist. Lewis, ball eluded him. Sewell stole it.
That's tough.
From the congestion. Lance Franklin dropped it, and that's a little too high on Newman.
Well, we saw Newman, the other 2 boys that had the wrestle just before half time there, Dwayne.
There's a grab from Polak. Just have a look at, high contact. Rance, just an elbow to the throat. Touch anyone above the shoulders, and coaches go mad with this.
Especially when your teammate's got a shot on goal.
Oh.
Like, that is just undisciplined.
That might come up in the tape, you'd suggest, in the review. Just undisciplined play.
Match review, panel review, or Richmond review?
No, the Richmond review. That won't go to a suspension review from the panel. But
they will definitely have a look, though,
for about 5 seconds, surely.
McGuan.
Well, whatever it was just silly, because they should have at least, a shot on goal and hopefully a goal.
And a big forward, confident as well.
Well, he's got it here. Polak got it from Jackson. Another good grab. Sends it inside 50. Rance. Can he make amends here? Can't mark. White. 6 possession opening half. Dances. Passes. And is that out on the full? It is.
It was a silly option. You had to go there. But just say the beautiful centre clearance. Great vision there from Foley out to Edwards. Just kicked the ball to space. Great mark, Polak, just at the back of the screen there. You see, just stupid.
I think that probably sums it up.
That might have seen you jump out of the box if you were still coaching Spudley.
Yeah. Well, it's just frustrating. Everything's worked at half-time. You had a great half-time as a coaching staff, as a group, saying we're hard. You win the clearance. You have a shot on goal. It just deflates the whole team.
Guerra wide, and Rioli got there but fumbled it.
Fumbled it and very close to out in the full, actually. He seemed to hit his boot, might have been on the other side of the line, but it was one of those clearances as well. Not just a clearance from the first bounce, but an unpressioned one. They were out in the clear and set up a very good shot at goal.
Big job for Kelvin Moore on Rioli at the moment. Back, Nason sits it up. Rance and Hodge. Neither get near it in the end. Hodge used his body on Rance and gathered the possession. Birchall forced to work for it, but it bounced up and sat nicely. Short pass, good option. Peterson can go. Got a one-on-one, short, Roughead. Gee, waited for that. Thursfield got a fist in, but fell. Roughead with the handball back.
We can't go forward because there's 6 Richmond players forward of the ball at the moment. That's why they're over-possessing the ball.
Roughead spilled it. Edwards gathers. Revolt drops it. Goes back. Edwards drops it and falls. It's a horrible 30 seconds. Birchall sends it wide. And that's a horrible 45 seconds. Young across the line.
Well, Pickers, we'll head down to you. Something happened at half-time to the ball or something down there?
Oh, sorry, boys. I know it's a hard game. You forget how hard it is. But I'll tell you what, I've been giggling for the last 5 minutes.
Back into play. Foley, gang tackled.
Have a look at Jared Roughead here. Just took the eye off the ball when he's on. That was the marking. That was very good spoil. but didn't take the next possession cleanly, and just the fumbles that we've seen in his first few minutes of the third term.
Bouncing ball, Young takes on Weberly, and that's got to be ball.
Well, that's a perfect tackle. Pinned the arm, and did he have prior opportunity? That's probably the question that needs to be asked, but you've got to reward the tackle. It was a very good tackle there from Weberly.
Been good, Jeremy Weberly, in game 2.
He's been lively, Dwayne.
He has. Strange name, sounds like you're blowing bubbles, Jeremy Weberly, but it's effective.
He struggled late to say it.
Moore can't mark. Nahas dances through. Short pass, makes it tough for White. Tackle, drag down, got it. Goes to ground, doesn't make an attempt, dead.
Especially today.
Yeah, well, he had an opportunity to get rid of it when he went to ground.
He got his arms clear in the tackle first off, but then wasn't able to execute the skill of getting the handball out.
Peterson.
Well, I like this. Peterson's on Deledio, and that's smart because Deledio loves to use his run and carry. So to hit up his direct opponent, that stifles his run.
Kicked 2 goals in the second term, Carl Peterson. 48 plays, 41. 6 goalless minutes to start this third term. That's what he has ahead of him. From the 50. Not bad off the boot. Doesn't bend back enough. Behind.
Of course, playing against his old club today, Dwayne. Carl Peterson.
Yeah, they didn't want him. And there's been a few for the Tigers over time that they've given away that they'd love to have back. I reckon David Roden's probably one of those at the moment. Jackson gives it up. Edwards threads it through. Revolt and Campbell Brown came hard. Gillum overran it slightly. Sean Burgoyne tried to knock it out. Revolt's still in there. Little handball okay to Jackson. Floats it wide. Nason, can he get it before it goes out? No.
It's a good point, but why isn't David Roden playing for Richmond?
Well, he had a knee reconstruction, and they give him the 12 months to get over it, and then they delisted him.
Yeah.
So
it was a strange one.
No, very strange. Especially after you do the 12 months when you do a knee.
Put the time into him to recover.
No, I think they'd love to have their time back again. Lynchy on the list management of David Roden, no doubt. He's come back beautifully, hasn't he?
It's been extraordinary how he's come back.
Free kick in this, being held. Ty Vickery. Newman runs himself into trouble, gets past Roughhead, handballs it to Dustin Martin, and he thumps a long bomb. Guerra sets himself, and Revolt clocked that from nowhere.
Well, Guerra's a loose man in defence. If you're going to be loose, you at least get some purchase on the ball. You got 3 Hawthorn defenders all flying for that. Someone had to get a fist. We'll have a look here. We've got 3. You got Guerra just to the right of screen coming in. But Campbell Brown, Guerra's gone the mark. Well, if you're going to be loose, not good enough.
He was stationary under the ball, Revolt. Shouldn't have marked it.
It's getting better. It's a bit like the Danny Minogue of the Revolt family, but you've got to appreciate him for what he is.
Brett Guerra, you're a loose man behind the ball. If you're going to go for the mark, you must mark it. You'll see it here beautifully. Here is a right of screen. Now, if you're playing good defensive play, winner half the contest as a defender, and to me, Alistair Clarkson, the coaching staff, won't be too happy with Brent Guerra's efforts there. That is a very ordinary piece of play, and you get 3 Hawthorn defenders versus 2 Richmond forwards, and they win the contest and kick the goal.
Back to a 2-point game.
Very good mark in that situation from Revolt. Certainly some deficiencies from the defensive principles of the players back for Hawthorn, but he was caught under the ball, Revolt. Jumped to a genuine contested mark.
Gee, it's a bad bounce, and umpire Damien Sully realised that.
Yeah, we're right here, Sal. Right here, mate.
You throw it in the air now. Skipper into the ruck against Polak. They win the clearance, the Tigers. Jackson inside 50. Bouncing ball, Stratton. Boundary line his friend and takes it across. 2 points the margin. Dangerous time here. We know the Tigers can't make the 8. They haven't won a game this year. They're playing for respectability from here on in. But the Hawks, they win today. Their season's still alive. The door's still slightly ajar.
Well, they've started the quarter really well, Dwayne. They've had 34 disposals, Richmond 2, Hawthorn's 18. 5 inside 50s to 2, Richmond's favour. They started the game like this, Richmond, kicking the first 3 goals.
Wade Skipper down, Stratton dragged down, didn't really have it. Bo Muston had a piece of it, but play on. Foley, Martin, centering kick, Rance, good fist from Hodge. Knocked it central, but he knocked it to where he knew his teammates were. Mitchell, Hodge ducked into that and got away with it.
Yeah. Just a bit overzealous there, the Richmond player.
Untidy.
It's as if Hawthorn want to be stung into action to get their game going. At the moment, they're just...
Well, they better hurry. Contested possessions are going against them 13-7 in this quarter. And turnover again.
They might simply get stung. If they lose this, it's a dead season. And at the moment, the Tigers are every chance of winning their first game of the year. Kelvin Moore. Jeremy Webberley. He's got Matt White out wide. He ignores that. Doesn't go wide enough. Matt White might get it regardless. About to pounce on it. Bumped off it by Suckling. Ball still alive. Matt White dives back in. Suckling wraps him up. Ball up.
And Pickers, this stop play here, the clearances, what are Hawthorn doing here? Because they're obviously not getting their hands on the ball.
Their structures are breaking down. Skipper's in the ruck at the moment. They're being beaten 6-zip in the clearances for this quarter.
Gee.
So Richmond right on top around the stoppages.
And they win another one. Polak again against Hawthorn. First game of Wade Skipper. And bumps off the ball. Mitchell.
Heavy contact.
Yeah, well, you've got Mitchell, Lewis, Sewell, so you've got your 3A grade hard nuts in there.
Well, if there was going to be an area of the ground that absolutely was going to be exposed for Richmond, was the Hawthorn strength through the midfield, and certainly their first lineup with those names in there. At this first bounce, you thought, how far can Richmond go in this game? But they've competed extremely well.
Wade Skipper, 45 games in 9 seasons at the Bulldogs.
Watch it up the wall!
Game 46, flies in the ruck, can't get a decisive palm down, and will go at it again against Graham Polak. It's good to see him back as well. Graham Polak, amazing story given his collision with the tram almost ended his life, let alone his career.
Yeah, it's a great story, one of those great life sporting stories to make it back to this level.
Ball not clear. Bo Muston, Jordan Lewis handballs it back. Hodge dances around after getting it from Suckling. Met a little high, play on advantage regardless. Campbell Brown sends it long. White cross. Got hands to it. McGuan with the spoil. White cross. Rolls it towards goal, but it's a little wide.
Held his feet. Young Whitecross, Brendan Whitecross, a young Queenslander. He's playing a little bit half forward these days. He's never played in the forward half all through his junior footy, but making a good fist of it.
One thing we can't discount is the mental pressure Hawthorn are under. Richmond are playing really well, don't get me wrong, and Hawthorn are still 3 points up on the scoreboard, but all the mental pressure today is with the Hawks. They're expected to win and win well.
Rance just bumped off it. Campbell Brown couldn't mark it. Guerra ducks into, out of, and into a tackle. And Xavier Ellis sees it out.
There'll be huge questions asked if Hawthorn go down here, but you can just see there's a lot of pressure. Richmond are dominating possession in this quarter, and some real key stats there actually winning. But 2 quick goals to Hawthorn just could rip the heart out of the Tigers, so they need to put scoreboard pressure to get that reward for effort.
Tuck, long kick, but the turnover. Stephen Gillum read it well. Ellis. Just a little lull at the moment.
Yeah, well, Richmond are really holding them up well. When Hawthorn look dangerous when they turn and go, they just get the ball after a mark or a free kick.
50 metres. Franklin might be within range here.
Yeah, I think it's against Nason there.
So Franklin will come. This will be interesting. Where will the umpire put him on the mark?
Yeah, Edwards, I think it was, just replaced Nason. Was it replaced Nason on the mark?
That's a good 50 as well. That's maybe 52, 53, and this is well within Lance Franklin's repertoire.
Sean Burgoyne ran through, and he's allowed to because he's a teammate. It was either Nason or Edwards that followed him through, so...
And this is Franklin's good side. It's normally the wrong side for a left footer, but he likes it from here normally because he bends it back a little, straight over the goal umpire, and they're out by 9.
Well, that's where we talk about reward for effort, and Richmond have been extremely good. The 50-metre penalty where it was a nothing free kick way out in the wing, and we'll just see Up the field, there's Lance Franklin pushing right up the field. Now Edwards is in the contest and he replaces Nason on the mark. He says, I'll take the mark, you drop back. And the umpire said, basically, I think you're a little bit over it. So I don't know whether he was back far enough to start with. He replaced Nason, but didn't get back far enough, maybe.
Well, Liam Pickering, you were at ground level. I thought Nason and Edwards were a little bit stiff there. What did you think?
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with Lynchy 100%. You are allowed to replace the player on the mark. Whether he didn't get back quick enough, I didn't hear the call, I have to admit. But looking at the replay again then, it looked to me like it was a little bit soft.
It was a gift.
Yeah, we're all in agreement there. That was ugly to re-watch that, especially for Richmond fans. Off hands, Tambling. Can he spear this through? The footy gods are here. They get it back straight away.
Great play.
Jack Rewalt, that is a very good contest. The Tambling goal was a fantastic snap, so he should be applauded for the snap. But the Rewalt contest, under the long ball coming, he had to hold his ground. He was out of position, basically, but just had to hold his ground with a strong body. We'll see that the ball is driven long into the forward 50. Rewalt's caught under the ball, pushes back hard, and just makes a contest, and then some skill, bit of class. Nice snap around the goal, around the corner. Good goal for Richmond.
Back to a three-point game.
Another centre clearance there to Richmond boys. Got that goal set up then.
Crowd hushed again. Angus Graham in the ruck now. Tries a little flick. Not a decisive flick. That bump was in the side. The umpire called to the players and he will re-bounce.
Certainly this area, the ground, Richmond are winning in this third term. Just got to continue to get that reward on the scoreboard. Battling away extremely well.
Angus Graham had no prior opportunity there. Got to make an attempt.
Had one arm free. Pretty difficult to certainly handball with one arm.
Lewis heads wide. Franklin should rise. Just kick one from a little closer, but the same angle.
And just a few metres further out. It's a prodigious kick. Now Richmond need to push back. There's Peterson in the goal square by himself, but Lance Franklin's pretty confident he can get the distance, line up and have a shot.
Well, there is no breeze, boys, so that will be in his favour. None whatsoever.
Needs exactly the same kick. The last one sailed 15 rows back. Runs out slightly and ran out a little too far. Distance wasn't the worry.
Still 5 rows back. Very long kick.
That was beautifully called, Dwayne. His last 3 strides ran in line with the point post.
Yeah, well, sorry, boys, there wasn't any breeze. Must have just blown up.
Well, it's blown back, maybe in their face. Tuck gives it up. Farmer, little give, dragged down, gang tackle. No prior opportunity.
Daniel Jackson wasn't looking at the handball receiver there.
And in that no prior opportunity instance, he didn't try and get rid of it either. He didn't make an attempt, but the umpire knew he couldn't possibly make an attempt anyway. So it gave him the benefit of the doubt. And that's surely the way the rule has to be paid. Dustin Martin gets a handball out. Nason loads up towards Vickery. Bouncing ball. Suckling gets back first. The gather. The chip kick, and Birchall can get and go. He takes a while to go, then sends it long. Angus Graham gets back, thumps it long, back of the pack. Could be out of play or, out of play. Ben Nason had the choice, but maybe discretion, better part of valour there.
Angus Graham just wasn't confident on who was around him, just thought the best option was to kill the contest and knock it out of bounds. Probably had a little bit more time, though.
First game of the season, and maybe a little rusty as well with his judgment. Nason gave it up. White dragged down. Nason seeks the boundary line again.
Good pressure there from Lance Franklin.
Certainly in that defensive 50. If in doubt, just get it out, basically. Kill the contest.
Franklin's work rate's lifted. Just needs his partner in crime there, Jared Roughhead, to fire up.
Ball still in the congestion.
We're certainly getting Franklin's getting up around the contest more. He wants to get involved in each contest, whether it's up on the wing or in the forward 50. He'll hit this contest on the move. He'll get moving as the ruckman jump.
Graham, perfect palm down to Tuck. Handball not so good. Put Nahas under some pressure. Knocks it out and knocks it out well. Dustin Martin through traffic, they're away. Tambling, no one to go to. Needs to hold. He kicks and it's smothered. And it might come back to haunt them. Renoff gives it up. Birchall dragged down, didn't have it. Nason caught. Dispossessed. Gillum.
Game's heated up.
Turnover. Nason got it from Jackson. Gives it out to White. Hasn't had a big day at the office. Needs to hit a target. Revolt. Push. And it'll be Muston's ball.
Good decision there. Definitely in the back. The game's just heated up for Hawthorn. They've just winning some quality ball. Richmond are hanging in there.
Muston wide. Sean Burgoyne. And it's hard to know what we'll get in the last term. Richmond has only won one final quarter this year. Hawthorn hasn't won any. High kick. Little bump by Tambling on Renoff, and it was okay, and that's almost as good as a kick. Knocks it down towards Carl Peterson. Polak had the reach. Handball a little too slick, and Peterson keeps it alive. Look out. Inboard they come. Whitecross flies, can't mark. Mitchell normally delivers well. Short, rough head. Maybe not the required 15 anyway. Rance over the top. This game's lifted a gear.
Oh, it has.
Dustin Martin, little
good young
collect.
Tigers, though.
Deledio, Cochin, handball smothered. Hodge on the rebound, wants the left, didn't get it, dispossessed. White through traffic, handballs it back again. Deledio hacks it wide. High ball, knocked away from Vickery. Campbell Brown in game 150. Short pass. Sewell, ridden it little, ridden enough. Gets the free.
Great effort from Newman. Yeah, it was well played from Sewell. He knew Newman was behind him. He just started his run, which then put Newman cannon into his back. Certainly experience there from Sewell. Yeah, it was good work.
Franklin. Peterson stole that.
Rough head forward.
He's over the top, rough head. Needs to mark it. Does.
You can handball over the top.
No, I wouldn't be doing that.
It was good play. Roughhead just come back on the ground. He's only had the 7 disposals. Roughhead. 6 goals, 3 last week. We see here, clever kick.
And good vision to actually spot Jared Roughhead out the back in space.
The interesting thing about Jared Roughhead's 6 goals, 3 last week is that he kicked 4 of them in the last term. Had a lean day and then made it his day. Hawthorn lead by 10.
They'll be happy with that one, and up towards the dangerous players in that forward 50. Franklin's getting involved. Have a look at the free kick here. Sewell, Newman in the back. Wasn't the Watton, and you see he's tried to turn Sewell, but got the free kick in the end. But when you got the dangerous players like Franklin, jump for a good contest. Now this is the very good vision. Don't worry about the execution, that's outstanding, but the vision was very good to actually see Jared Roughhead and a more fluent run in and kick.
As you said, Dwayne kicked 4 last quarter goals last week, 6 goals, 3. 1-on-1, Thursfield's been terrific on Roughhead, so the big boys are starting to get the work there. But Carl Peterson, he's had 2 goals, 2, and 3 goal assists. That's a great return for half forward.
Renoff down, copybook style to Hodge. Big long bomb. Deledio gets back, takes a saving mark.
Yeah, he's been terrific. He's had the 22 disposals, 15 handball receives, generating a lot of run for the Tigers out of the back half.
He's their man. Last 2 best and fairest he's won, and he'd get a game in any team in the competition, Brett Deledio.
You did notice, boys, that Hodge back in the middle of the ground. Probably the first time this afternoon he's actually ventured into the centre square, and he got that last clearance.
Foley. Deledio also led the possessions last week against Adelaide as well. He's in good form. Short pass finds Ben Nason.
Been able to block things up, Hawthorn. Stop the run of Richmond.
Lets it sail. Angus Graham, the target. Got hands to it. Couldn't mark it, but got a handball. Daniel Jackson. Rewalt. Back to Tambling. Lewis off the deck. Not a bad option. He's got numbers in the middle. Peterson the slip. Roughhead. Breaks the tackle. Handball not so good. Stephen Gillum attacked it nicely. They've got the numbers. Mitchell, Sean Burgoyne, Young. Peeling for him, Rioli. Pass needs to be good. Rioli can get and go. He holds it up.
A great kick from Young, and he's not deferred. Was trying to get onto his left, Clinton Young, but then saw Rioli out of the corner of his eye and thought, just put the ball to space. He'll do the rest.
The run and spread from Hawthorn on that occasion. They had numbers everywhere, and they just power runned into space as Rioli did, and he was the one on the recipient of the very good work up the ground by his teammates.
Just mentioned two best and fairest, of course. Cyril Rioli's uncle won 2 Richmond best and fairests. Did Morris, and he misses what should have been a goal kicked to extend the margin to the biggest margin of the game, 16. It currently stands at 11.
He was a fair player, Morris Rioli.
Yeah, Cyril might go close. Kelvin Moore.
Let's play against Morris, but
He was an unbelievable player. That was the best tackle I've ever seen.
Boundary line looming. Out of play.
Actually, I didn't think you were that old to play against Morris.
No, played a few games, not directly on him, in same teams. Sorry, when he was with the Tigers, but both uncles, Michael Long and Morris Rioli, unbelievable champions of our game.
Big pack around this ball at the moment with 3 minutes on the clock to three-quarter time. Momentum into the last break important. Hawthorn by 11. We'll get a ball up. Good crowd in. They've been hushed on so many occasions. And they're quiet again now. Skipper. Little flick. Tuck. Speaking of greats of the game, playing against the team that his father was such a champion for. Shane Tuck, father, 426 games for the Hawks. Shane Tuck there for a while as well, but had some heart problems which required some surgery and wasn't selected in the end.
Look at Hodge in the middle.
Hodge breaks free. Handballs it over the top. Maybe not the right option. Newman, Foley. And they're away here. Jackson gives it up. Cochin wide. Weberly, can he hit the target? Sends it wide instead of long. Polak gets back. Stratton got a fist on it.
Terrific spoil. The hardest skill. Have a look at this stoppage here. Skipper to Hodge. This is absolute copybook here. Just uses Cochin as a springboard to attack. Great play.
That's 2 very clean clearances from Hodge in this quarter.
Ball slapped down. Rioli dives in and gets the clearance here. Put his head down and just got it. Ellis sends it long. Bouncing ball. Peterson, Farmer. Farmer won well.
The bounce suited him.
Delidio runs away from Lewis with a bounce with some style. Bumped on the kick. It's a wobbler. Wade Skipper saving mark. 2 minutes from three-quarter time. Sewell.
Work rate's definitely lifted from Hawks the last 10 minutes.
Rioli, Kelvin Moore had to overcommit with the fist. Rioli first to pounce, falls, and Moore kept his feet, won the free for being legged.
Well, it's a huge win from Kelvin Moore. Not only the spoil, but the second effort.
Second effort, and we just see there a prime example. You lose your feet in the contest, you're out of the contest, and the desperation grab for the ankle gave a free kick away.
Rance is calling for it long here. Goes to Revolt. Big fly, got on shoulders, and Wade Skipper stayed down and marked it.
It's great to fly for the ball, but at some stage just protect your teammate. Not sure Graham would have marked the ball, but just think team now and again when your flies are forward.
You're after a contest and at least neutralise contest to get the ball down, so you give your crummers an opportunity. A free kick is just a turnover. Too easy to turn over to the opposition. They just run out of the defence as they are doing now.
Birchall got it from Young, gave it to Suckling. Down to a minute. Back wide to Young. Short, Mitchell under pressure. Jackson with a thump. And they might get a ball in.
This is when Delidio was kicking the ball long, and he took a bit of time to get up after this big hit from Stokes.
He did put the kick off, which I think stopped the umpire from playing that as a free.
There's a little bit of a Sonny Bill Williams number there.
What is the old shoulder charge in the rugby league? Outlawed in the rugby union. You're actually not allowed to do that in the rugby union.
Skipper with the free, gave to Mitchell, sends it too wide for Hodge. Clock stops at 33. Interesting place for a ball in though. Time enough for a clearance for either team.
There's no doubt Hodge will start this last quarter on the ball. He's turned the game Hawthorn's favour the last 10 minutes since being on the ball.
Short throwing. Skipper read it. Didn't take possession. Knocks it down. Hodge.
It's his 4th clearance.
Birchall backtracks, gathers, gives. Mitchell, Guerra shoots it back. Stephen Gillum, Guerra, the seconds continue to roll. Have they got enough time here? Short pass. Lewis needs to bang it long and get a mark.
They've done that extremely well out of the stoppage. The defensive sweepers allowing to feed the ball backwards and get to the other side of the ground.
Three-quarter time at the G. Round 8, 14th and 16th on the AFL ladder, but they're putting on a show. Hawthorn by 11. 9-10-64, 8-5, 50.
You've gone super undisciplined, gone outside the realms of playing team football, and it really hurts Lynchy.
Absolutely shattering for the start of the third term. Would have been just what the Tigers needed. In the end, they went backwards to the tune of 4 points. They just needed to have that first goal. I would say that will come up during the week from Damien Hardwick. There's no doubt about that.
Tigers have won one final term this year. Hawthorn has won none. From the ball up, Hawks by 11. Foley with the takeaway. Sends it inside 50, Revolt down there. Gillum thumps it away. Birchall to pounce, Rance with him. Good tackle. Muston knocks it to his own advantage. Nahas to steal. Back to Muston. Hodge dives in, knocks it out though. Deledio could make them pay. Nahas slips a little handball to Foley. Got it into Edwards. Centering kick, but doesn't centre it anywhere near enough. Chaos ball though. Knocked back in. Polak tackled and dumped from the side. Campbell Brown superb there. That was a goal for all money. And the 150-gamer bounces away. Lance Franklin on the move. Can Hawthorn turn that into a score? Franklin's got 2 corralling him. Slips over the top. White cross to his own advantage. One-on-one's ahead. Rioli in one-on-one. And that's way too wide.
Great play, Revolt, just to keep that ball alive, but super effort from the 150 game. Have a look at this. Terrible bounce for Stratton there. Revolt just tapped it on beautifully there to Polak. Thought it was a goal, but
Game alive here. Revolt kicks around the body and goals. They lead by 17.
Oh, Jared Roughhead just took his opportunity and snapped the goal. Well, we'll just have a look at that replay. As they go across the ground, just trying to kick to Deledio, and just a poor execution error on that occasion. You've just hung the ball in the air and just very vulnerable. That is a big turnover. We're at the other end. Had the opportunity to have a shot at goal, but ball was flown down. It started with Brown, but good goal from Roughhead.
So Roughhead, not sure how he got it, but Roughhead kicks the goal. It gives Hawthorn a 17-point margin.
Well, nearly a 2-goal turnaround. Take a bow, Campbell Brown. That chase and tackle down the other end saved a certain goal, and now it's a great effort there from Hawthorn and Roughhead.
Cochin with the kick wide. Ball knocked down by Guerra. Dangerous time. This is the biggest lead of the game to either team. Tuck drag down. Ball up.
Surioli's tackling technique, boys, is as good as I've ever seen. I know you talked about Morris and how good a tackler he was, Spud, but gee, he just wraps an arm up every chance he gets, Cyril.
Oh, he's a beauty.
Hodge does get a little knockout, still in there. Umpire pays ball. 2 Hawthorn players holding it in, so has that become a free, the team free, has it?
Well, must have.
That's not a rule. But they paid it this weekend. They paid it last night.
Played it last night in your game. The Crows-Kangaroos game. I did see that one.
Well, the umpires have been saying in the games this weekend that they've paid the freeze for a number of players holding it in, not for one player holding it in himself. Guerra takes it across the line. The umpire told the players here, free kick, 2 Hawthorn players holding it in.
No,
I forgot to mention there was a Richmond one as well.
Yeah, but I'd actually pay that because clubs are very good at disguising who's got hands on the ball. And
yeah, that's fine. If you want to change the rule, but you can't start paying it until the rule's officially changed.
In what way though, Dwayne? Because Luke Hodge had first hands on the ball, and the other Hawthorn players come in to hold it in.
Well, tell everybody it's a free against Hodge for holding it in, not free against the team for holding it in.
Fair enough.
Newman.
Fair point.
Long ball. Revolt's down there. Gets a fly. Can't mark. Ball hits the back of the pack. Lewis there. Kick smothered.
Well done.
Lucky he didn't smother it with his boot. Nahas would have been a goal.
Would have been. He the smother on Lewis.
Yes.
Nahas just didn't sit up for him to get another crack at it, but good defensive pressures. They have to hold Hawthorn in. It's going to be difficult for Richmond to score enough to get past the Hawks, but in these sort of situations they've got to hold it so they get multiple opportunities when they go inside 50.
Ellis knocked away from him.
Good tackle.
Good tackle on Stratton by Jackson, and he is their premier tackle man. Daniel Jackson came off a 12-tackle game against Adelaide last week, and he is superb at the craft. And the ball up. Jackson doing some ruck work this time, knocks it down. Foley keeps it alive. Tambling, little sidestep. Wobbler off the side of the boot. Up flies Pollack, couldn't mark it. White ran into a brick wall and Ellis burst his way through it. Cochin dragged down, little high, gets the free kick.
Super today, Trent Cochin.
Hands it off quickly. Newman gets his way around trouble, sends it goalward.
What a goal.
It's long, it's strong, and they are well and truly alive.
That's his second goal, Chris Newman. Degree of difficulty on that. He's a dead set left footer, and the Hawthorn players allowed that little gate open to get on his left foot. One of the longest kicks in the league, Chris Newman. Trent Cochin, he's been terrific today also with 21 disposals, but Newman's tackling pressure, his harassment, his ability to kick 2 goals. Just see here the strength of Cochin just to keep where he drew that free kick with Guerra going too high was always there. Great play.
There's no doubting Richmond's hardness at the ball today. Just they turn the ball over at times, but their hardness, led by that man Newman through the midfield, has been exquisite.
Well, he's had that tape on the right eye there, as we saw. That was from going hard at the ball early with Peterson.
Vickery to Jackson. That's a 70-metre kick inside 50. Graham over the top. Ball clears the pack. White about to pounce. Kicks around the body. Across the face. Guerra.
Just pulled it back too far. The discipline act put it to a dangerous position, but unfortunately, no Tigers players there.
Sewell to Burgoyne. Dropped the mark. Wasn't tackled. Kicks wide. Rioli, boundary line with him. And runs away from Newman. Uses the line in the end. Rolls it inside 50. Tough ball to gather. Franklin dumps McGuan. Still got it. Throws it out. Farmer smothered.
Not Rioli.
Rioli outside of the boot. Bends back. Boomerang. And they lead by 16.
Oh, what a goal. What a goal from Rioli. Lance Franklin, he put on a big tackle and a bit of a clash of heads up against the teeth, like he's got the mouth guard in, so should save the teeth on that occasion. But heavy tackle. He's come off a little bit worse for wear, but what about the skill? Just Rioli stayed involved in the contest with the outside of the left slipper, just a little check side. Very nice goal.
Kelmore did pretty well, having the half-forward flank corralled him. Rioli still had the awareness to run through that gate, but then to follow on. That is a great example for any youngster. Just stay in the game, keep in the game.
He did show him the line. He took it, didn't he? He got some leg speed.
Palm down to Mitchell. Gets it out to Lewis. Delidio gets the call, touch, play on, but he got caught high. Just dropped into that rough head tackle well.
High contact. Good work, good smother again. The 1%ers for the Tigers is certainly there. It's just still, they've got to find a way to get a little bit closer to Hawthorn.
Edwards takes them on. Have they got a punch left, the Tigers?
Trouble.
Edwards down the middle. Inboard Nahas, he dropped that. Tackled by Muston. Dispossessed. Over the top, Young. He's caught. Gives it up. Rioli drops it, goes back, taps it, gets it, keeps his feet again. Handballs it to Muston. He might set it up. Rioli's brilliance. And Young cleans it all up. He misses from 20 out.
I think he's
not overly happy, but yeah, you're right.
I think he was in two minds. I think he thought, will I handball to Lance or will he spoil it? So you just see here, well done Cal Moore. Really put him in two minds.
Well, he didn't overcommit early when it would have been just a lay down was there to chip over the top. but just held, then went. So the two minds, very good work.
Delidio wide to Kelvin Moore. Wide, Stratton there, Revolt there as well. Suckling turns back to the boundary. Lewis to set it up again. Close to the knockout blow at the moment. Thursfield gets there, takes the mark. 17 points the margin. They're 3 goals from the lead, the Tigers. We've played 10 minutes final term. They're taking the game on. Jackson sends a wide ball. White just inside the line.
They're taking the game on just where they can't get the ball. Turnover again, though.
There was a good option, 2-on-1.
Where it took it, sends it inside 50. They've got the numbers here. Ellis, Thursfield's got 3 to beat. He might beat them all.
Oh,
he can't rush it behind. He got pushed in the back.
Oh, he got pushed in the back. He's very lucky. I thought he dragged the ball in.
Well, he did drag it in, and he plays on quickly. That's a good play. Let's have another look here.
He's tripped, dragged it in. Seen those go the other way.
But he was on his side first.
Yeah, that's right. They've been taking the game on off half-back, Richmond, but they can't get back through the corridor. Hawthorn are owning the corridor at the moment and pushing Richmond wide.
Delidio. Vickery.
That was a very good kick. He just pulled that one to find Vickery.
Rewald stands under it. Thumb clear again. Stratton, brilliant there. Caused the spoil, got his own work. Rewald chases him down. He got a toe on it just in time. Mason knocks it down. Dustin Martin uses some speed. Delidio. They haven't given up the ghost. Edwards. Short pass midfield. White.
You got Cochin on if you can find him.
Handball over the top. Good Farmer. Sends it too wide. Forced to go and get it was Cochin. Slip. Dance. Caught. Back to Farmer. Inside. White. Inside further, Delidio. Can he hit a chest? He just sends up a bomb. Rewalt, can he get a fly at it? He can't. Thumped clear by Stratton again. Foley should pounce. Sewell's with him. Gets it inboard. Edwards, was that a throw? Over his head. Tambling, sets it back up. Edwards centering kick. Graham, not the second grab. Play on. Rewalt dives in. Campbell Brown doing what Campbell Brown does. Got in there. Where Angels fear to tread. Rance could kick the goal regardless. Was a touch. They claim it was. Umpire will have none of it.
Great goal from Richmond. There is a bit of problem here. I reckon Rewald's got a very sore shoulder. He went in with his right arm, and Campbell Brown's unrelenting attack on the ball may have dislocated that AC joint. So that's a massive concern for Rewald, but great work. They just attacked the contest and attacked every issue of this game. Good work from Rance. He owes his team a goal or two, to say the least, for that silly free kick at the start of the third term, but very good goal from him.
Let's have another look at this attack from Campbell Brown v Rewalt. Low and harder. Great contest. That's what AFL football is all about. Both players being unconditional. Brown had the momentum there on Revolt.
Ugly bounce. Tigers get the clearance. Cochin, a wide ball. Campbell Brown attacks it. Bounce was unkind to him. Suckling attacked it. He was caught. Got it up towards Lewis and Muston. Lewis overran it but went back and got it. Sean Burgoyne had a good first game for the Hawks. Heads wide. Skipper in his first game for the Hawks. Also trying to provide something. 11 points the margin. 42,000 here at the G on the edge of their seats. Big grab that in defence as well from Thursfield, who's been very solid.
He has been solid, and that was a very good grab.
Little fumble from Tuck. Mops up that mess.
Still can't get through the corridor.
McWan. Thursfield kicks it back in towards the corridor. Mitchell was waiting for it. Look out. Pokes the pass. Young through his legs. Stolen by Cochin. Thrown in the tackle. Gets it to Tambling. Handballs to Nahas. Little slip. Handball with the outside of the hand. Rance got it from Tambling. Kicks it long. The attack again from Rewalt. Jackson has the man over the top. Angus Graham can stroll in and cuts it back to a one-kick game.
We've taken the game on the Tigers. They want to win this game. They don't want an honourable defeat. They are taking the game on. All the pressure now, all the mental pressure on the Hawks. Just see they're winning all the one-on-one contests at the moment, the Tigers. You see Thursville there marking over the top. You see the ground level ball. There's extra numbers around the contest. They're moving the ball quickly. Again, the work rate, an extra Richmond player forward. Great awareness from Daniel Jackson's at 30 touches, kicked the goal. Terrific play.
Five points to margin. Liam Pickering.
Well, they just can't get their hands on the ball. The Hawks only had 27 possessions for the quarter at 56% efficiency. Richmond, on the other hand, 60 possessions for the quarter, going at 85%, boys.
They're working well in this situation, this part of the ground. They're very good, the Tigers.
Clearance is important now. Well, they're probably always important, but as we get closer to the end, they become like gold, and Sewell will get it. Another hush over the crowd. 5 points the margin. Renoff, Muston. Franklin. McGuan got there first and on a free.
He read the ball extremely well, McGuan, on that occasion. Got in front. Franklin gave away the free kick.
Well, the one-on-ones, Thursfield and McGuan have more than held their own. They're giving away height and body size. That was Hawthorn's second clearance for the quarter. Richmond have had 7, Hawthorn only 2.
Across his defensive goal, almost runs himself into trouble. Newman spears the pass, hoping for White. Hodge got there first and could make them pay big time.
I could see what Chrissy Newman was trying to do, but when you're under... Here we go.
Plays on quickly. Just the required 15. Rioli.
Well, it was a great play from Hodge, but Chris Newman, when you're under extreme pressure like that, get the ball as long as you can and as wide as you can. He tried to pinpoint a pass under pressure. He's been super today, but he'd be disappointed with that effort.
And games turn on moments like that. Lines them up, kicks the goal, and punches it back out to an 11-point margin.
They've been good in that area of the game, Hawthorn, in this, especially the second half. They've owned the corridor. See, Newman's just dragged the ball too far inside. A very good mark from Hodge. Just had to be long along the boundary line. If you miss your target, it goes out of bounds, which would have been fine. But a bit of loose checking in the end. But the damage was already done. Good mark from Hodge. But Richmond have tried to switch the ball on all occasions, but can't get through the corridor. It's a major issue that's hurting them in this second half.
Great quarter footy from Surioli. 2 goals, 2 inside 50s, 1 goal assist and 3 tackles.
Angus Graham in the middle. Renoff with a perfect palm down to Hodge again. Outside of the boot clearance. Roughhead attacked it. Tuck gathers the crumb. Delidio. Watts left in the tank for the Tigers. Angus Graham. Kick smothered. Muston. Turns it over though. Mason. Short pass, wide pass, out of play.
This big ruckman just hadn't got off the mark far enough and wasn't able to get past the Hawthorn opponent.
Dwayne, you're right with the Tigers. Last week, 5-minute mark of the last quarter against Adelaide, they were level, and Adelaide ran away with the game. So super important that Richmond hang in there.
Yes, they conceded the last 8 goals of the game last week, but that might sting them into action here. Free kick, inside 50. Birchall gathers it. Rance beaten for it, and that was a crucial ball. Young hunted down by Weberley. Gets the kick around the body. Bouncing ball. Peterson might get there first. Does, but it eludes him by the bounce. Newman. Rance. Jackson. Back to Rance. Looks up. He's got options inside 50. Cochin. Look away. Handball. Weberley. Into trouble. Tambling. Got his arms free. Handballs it back again. Muston attacked it hard. Brick wall came at him.
So
Mason pushing the back. Nason's ball.
Tambling down there, Liam Pickering at ground level.
Yeah, Richard Tambling hasn't moved after that contest.
And they are holding play up here.
They are. He got a heavy attack on the footy. Let's have a look at this one. Now he puts the head down. Arms pinned. Arms pinned, head on knee, end of story. So you might have a bit of concussion here. He'll probably have to come off.
Yeah, he'll have to come off.
This stage of the game, you can't afford to have players on the ground that are a bit not quite there. So he's coming off from the hands of 2 trainers now. They look like they've got a bit of momentum here, the Tigers, though.
They have. Cochin's been outstanding for the game. His hardness at the ball has been very good.
Has Nason got it within him? It's long. It's to the square. Big pack. Thump through. 10 points.
I think your point, Dwayne, was spot on with Richmond last week. Adelaide kicking 8 goals unanswered. They would have had some mental soul searching the young Tiger team all week, knowing that regardless of the result, we're going to play to the final siren. They're doing that here today.
Hawthorn's season is over if they lose this. They know it. The footy world knows it, and it's on.
Sam Mitchell knows it.
Well, boys, I did see what happened there. There was a bit of push and shove. Sam Mitchell ended up on the ground. He just gives him a little bit
Mitchell,
of a...
he's got a bit of a hair there.
Grab the fleece.
The locks.
That's what happens when you've got hair that long, boys.
Not sure you're allowed to do that.
Can you get reported for pulling hair though, Dwayne?
Not sure who the last player was.
Surely
Newman.
not.
High inside 50. Campbell Brown.
He can just say he's trying to grab his jumper.
Yeah. That'll be an out. Hodge. And boy, do Hawthorn need an out. They need to keep this year alive.
Well, they need to get the ball in this player's hands. He's been terrific this quarter, Surioli.
3 goals for the game, 2 in the term. Heads wide. Whitecross. Franklin. And look up at the scoreboard. 21 minutes are gone. Still an enormous amount of time in this, though. 7 minutes, 10 points. That's the equation. Long ball. Tuck flies over the top with a fist. Gathers his own crumb. Newman. Delidio. He sends it back. Polak's direction. Gets back and makes a contest. Does well.
Good contest.
White. Floats it towards Revolt. Wide. Takes it. Is it on the line?
Yeah, I think it's in.
Jackson running hard to the goal square.
He's got 3. Will he go back from the gutter?
To Delidio this quarter. 10 disposals in this quarter. 90% effectiveness.
Plays on. Tries to do it all himself. It's high to the square. Hawthorn with numbers up. Richmond had numbers down. Behind.
I mean, he didn't. Here's the Sam Mitchell Nason incident, and that was well and truly off the ball. But Rewalt, he didn't have too many options. Would have liked to have seen a few players moving to just get that chip inside, so he could have a straight shot on goal. In the end, a big snap on the left that didn't go close, really.
Stratton wide. Franklin. Second grab, no mark. Hunted down by McGuan, who's tracked him all day and done well. Boundary line beats them all. No, high free. It's a Richmond ball.
You're right. Look at Polak there. The forwards need to move here, Lynchy. They look pretty stagnant inside the forward 50.
Delidio to Newman to White.
Well, Hawthorn got numbers back, which is stopping Richmond forwards to want to move.
Polak flies. Can't mark it. Ball hits the deck. Sam Mitchell again. Tries to thread a handball through. Campbell Brown.
Jackson.
He's put Jackson down. Jackson hasn't moved. Mitchell gets the handball up. Birchall floats one. Peterson waits under it. Jackson's still down.
Oh, you've got to love Campbell Brown's attacking the ball. Look at Brownie. He's walking over to him, Brownie, saying there's a bit more of that coming.
You reckon he said, how you going?
What about a couple of his contests in the last quarter, Campbell Brown? Oh, Jackson's giving one off the ball here. And
Jackson's
the
giving Campbell. It's rough heads ball regardless. They'll kick the goal here, Hawthorn. Rioli runs in, and that might be the coffin nail. It's on.
Yeah, it's on with Campbell Brown and Jackson.
That was a headbutt.
There's a little bit happening.
He's lost the plot here, Daniel Jackson. Brownie's got inside his head. The experience there, the umpire's telling Brownie to go away. We just have a look at this contest again.
Bang!
Oh, that's a magnificent hit.
That's 2 in the last 10 minutes
It's a
from
loose
Campbell
ball.
Brown.
They both went low and hard. We see the resultant effort here from Campbell Brown's spillage. What's happening everywhere here? We've got Rioli on fire, kicking 3 goals in the last quarter. Campbell Brown's 2 of the best hits you'll ever see in AFL football.
It's his 150th game, Campbell Brown, against Dad's old club, Mal. 14 games for Richmond, and boy, did he make an impact in 14 games. Well, Campbell's made an impact in this last term. Foley short. White dances around. Can he keep them alive? From 50, set stale. Don't give it up just yet.
There's plenty in this game. The Tigers they've been hard at it. They're trying to match Campbell Brown's toughness. They've been extremely good. That's the best way to answer. Tough at the ball, get the clearance again, and that is a very good use of the ball. Short to start with, and then round the tackler, and a very good shot at goal from 50 metres. Good conversion, still game on.
It's Campbell Brown there in white, kicking his first goal. What a handy player, White. Here's Campbell Brown and Daniel Jackson walking off the ground. Not a lot of contact there. There's a little bit of contact, but Liam Pickering, Hawthorn. Mitchell hasn't played a lot of footy. Burgoyne, Skipper. Are they running out of legs?
Yeah, it appears to me they cannot win a clearance either, Spud, which is killing them out of the middle.
Cochin gets that clearance. Little toe poke, dangerous. Campbell Brown, there's some booze. Guerra.
In trouble.
Oh, he's in trouble.
Brown dumped into the turf. Did he have prior opportunity? No.
Oh, this is a fantastic game of football. It's hard to believe it's 14th versus 16th. These two teams, this is one of the best games I've seen this year, Lynchy.
It is a very good finish to this game.
Pride in the jumper, worth more than 4 points for these two at the moment. Dustin Martin, the young gun. Sean Burgoyne, the new boy. And he says, give it some poise, boys.
Well, that's experience. He's playing on the wing, and he's got back behind the ball. That is class and experience there from Sean Burgoyne.
Lewis.
Well, he knows, he probably doesn't know there's 3.5 minutes left on the clock, but he knows that Richmond have to kick 2 goals. So if they can just control the ball here for the next 2 minutes, take some juice out of the clock.
They certainly can take a minute out of the clock quite easily.
Hodge along the boundary. Franklin 3 to beat. Doesn't beat them all, and again Thursfield has stood solid.
Even before the mark, that was a win for Richmond. They managed to get one-on-one and force Hawthorn long, and then a very good mark.
Newman.
He's got to try to swing around, get through the corridor. No time to waste now.
Richmond won't play in September, but Hawthorn fans can start booking their holidays for September if they lose this.
Well, this is a win, isn't it, boys, for Hawthorn?
Yeah.
50 minutes.
50.
Well, up until the 50, you were right, Pickers. They put pressure on, forced Richmond back. Richmond have got to take the game on. They've done it so well throughout the day, but just have to take the game on, play on all occasions.
He plays on here. Revolt's the man. Floats in. That is the biggest grab of the day.
Unbelievable grab there. 3 Hawthorn defenders again. And you've got to admire Jack Revolt. He's never left wondering, Lynchy. He goes for everything, but when they stick, it's exciting to watch.
That's the biggest mark of the day since his last one, out in the centre wing in front of the commentary box. That's a big grab at an important time.
He's kicked 3.
Huge kick this. Nick who? We've got Jack. It's a 3-point game.
This is unbelievable. You think Hawthorn had it wrapped up 4 or 5 minutes ago, and Burgoyne, Skipper, Mitchell, a couple of players underdone, the young Tiger legs. We just see the Revolt mark here versus Stratton, Burgoyne and Muston. That is just an absolute outstanding spectacle of our great game.
Genuine contested mark. That's such an important part of the ground in an important part of the game.
Sometimes you have to create what you want to be part of.
And Pickers,
Jack Revolt's trying to create here, and so is that man, Damien Hardwick. Alistair Clarkson, the year is on the line. The clearance important. Jackson, no one gets it out. 3 points the margin, 2 minutes on the clock.
sorry, Pickers, clearances this quarter, it seems to me all Richmond.
12-3 is the clearance count, Spud, for the quarter in favour of the Tigers.
Sure, that's a smacking.
Sewell gets a clearance here, although Ellis dropped it. Chance for Dustin Martin. Had it, slung, lost it. More seconds eaten up. Another ball up.
Yeah, this is actually a win to Richmond, really. With the domination they've got in this quarter around the stoppages, the goal couldn't come quick enough because all of a sudden they can set their structures up again. Cochin's been leading the way. He's had 10 clearances this afternoon.
He's been good.
Angus Graham, little palm down. Rough hit. Called for the free. Claimed he was hit high. Didn't get it.
Well, look for a third man up here in a minute. Richmond know they're down on the scoreboard by 3 points. Look for a Deledio. One of the Richmond midfielders to go third man up just to try and clear it.
Hodge gets the clearance by hand. Mitchell dragged down by Newman. Another tie-up, another ball up. We're down to 91 seconds.
Newman was straight onto that one. As soon as Sam Mitchell took possession, just locked him up, gave Mitchell no opportunity to get the handball away.
The beauty of it, we've got one-on-ones all over the ground.
Cochin didn't have it when he was grabbed, and Cochin wins the free.
Used the ball well.
Effectively another clearance for Cochin. He was away then.
Can they hold it all the way to goal?
Tuck pushing hard in the wing.
Cochin sees him, heads that way. Lewis can't spoil.
Inside, got to go inside.
Gee, that was almost 50. Whitecross ran across the mark. He floats it up. Where's Rewald? Where is he? Can't go. Back of the pack. Sewell about to pounce. Rewald tracks him down. He shuffled it out.
Well done, Franklin.
Dives in. Gets back, lends a hand. Muston, boundary line his friend. Clock stops at 54.
Free kick.
Muston, free kick in the back from
Against
Tambay. He's back on the ground, which is good news. Muston's just signalled he's going to go long along the boundary line. Richmond must go one-on-one across the field.
They're going to have to go to Roughead. He's the only big target. Richmond got all the shots.
It's a horror kick, but it's okay. Not paid. Tuck. Caught. Holding the ball. A game-saving tackle from the captain. Welcome back, Sam. Back into the team. And that could do it.
Well, the mark wasn't paid. And just a great second effort from Sam Mitchell, the captain. And that could have been the game.
They can take 30 off the clock, surely, Lewis.
He's had 29 disposals, Sam Mitchell, but I don't think they'll be talking about his disposals today. It'll be the leadership of that tackle. Unbelievable. And this guy here, Campbell Brown, what a last quarter. Two of the best hits you'll ever see.
Young, down to 10. They've been gallant, the Tigers, but they will remain winless. It'll be 8 games, 8 losses for the Tigers. And for the Hawthorn Football Club, their season has a pulse. It's faint, but it's beating. They win by 3. 13-11-89 to Richmond, 13-8-86 in one of the games of the year.
Outstanding game and a very good result for Hawthorn. They were under pressure all day. There was nothing clinical about the way they went about it. Nothing easy, but they battled away. They had enough winners across the ground to kick a winning score. But I think Richmond saw their captain just walking off the ground, very disappointed. It was one of those horrible terms, honourable loss, but they threw everything at this game, Richmond did.
No, it's fantastic. It's a shame there had to be a loser in this game of footy. The clearances for the Tigers, 41-29. They are gone past honourable defeat. They're going to win a couple of games of football. They were super all day, the Tigers, but Hawthorn, just the class. We see Sammy Mitchell there, had a great duel with Daniel Jackson, just that match-saving tackle the last 30 seconds.
Let's go downstairs. Liam Pickering has one of the heroes.
Yeah, certainly one of the heroes, I should say. 150 games, Brownie. It was a tough old slog, though.
Yeah, we knew it would be. Richmond have been going really well. I thought just important for us to get a win today. It doesn't matter how we got it and by how many points. I think if we can kickstart the year from here, I think the boys will get a lot of confidence out of it.
It was a bit sloppy early in the game. That your ball use wasn't great.
Yeah, ball use was a shit-house, mate, and sorry about that. We fumbled a lot and dropped balls and missed targets, so something to work on. But yeah, just a positive that we dug deep and tweaked our game plan a little bit. I think that's the way we're going to have to go from now on, but yeah, it paid dividends.
What about at the end there? It was a massive clash you had with Daniel Jackson. No one took their eye off the ball. It was a great contest. A little bit going on, a bit of feeling in that last quarter.
Absolutely, mate. The game was in the balance and boys are putting their head over it. So he played really well today, Daniel, and yeah, it was good. It was good.
I was going to say, Sean Burgoyne, a real positive for the team as well. Had a really good first half. Probably died out of it a bit in the second half, but a very good, promising debut.
Yeah, he'll be better for the run, I think. He hasn't played footy for nearly 12 months, and I thought the whole of his game was his hardness at the ball. He got that shocking helmet on, and he certainly put his head over a number of times.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Hawthorn fans will be wrapped with your effort in the last quarter in particular. You had a great game. Well done, mate. Go and enjoy it. It's been a long time between drinks for you boys.
Yeah, certainly has 6 weeks, mate, so we'll enjoy it. Thanks, Pickers. Good on you, Spud.
I'll tell you what, I think the adjectives he used describes the way he plays. Some of those hits. Look, that's a fantastic game of footy. I think both sides can be extremely proud. Richmond, they're going to win a game of football. Don't worry about that. Damien Hardwick, he'd be a proud boy. They've won the inside 50s, 54-38. Normally that equates to 95% of wins for any team. So only kept Hawthorn, as I said, to 38 inside 50s. Brave effort from the Tigers, but as you said, Dwayne, Hawthorn Football Club have got a pulse. They're still in the fight for the premiership.
We'll be back to wrap this one up after the break. Hawthorn by 3 points.
This has been a Fox Sports production.